Hold on to your mug. We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 75 of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It is great to be back on another beautiful day here in Portland, Oregon, and joined, of course, by a couple of my favorite people. Hydra Sheep, how you doing tonight?
Doing awesome. The show has just began. I'm already having a blast hanging out with you guys, and I'm just stoked. It's like, let's do this.
Yeah. Sheep, how's it going?
Meowdy. I'm doing pretty well myself this Friday evening in Southeast Texas. Ready to hang out with some friends like we've been doing.
Yeah. And hey, we've got a really special guest joining us tonight. So not only is he a legendary Hearthstone player, but also streamer, also creates amazing videos. So hey, welcome to the show, Shibo. What?
Hey, Shibo. How's it going?
Hi, reporting from the humid swamps of southeast Michigan here. It's walking outside is just entering a warm bath.
Oh, that's gross, man. I'm sorry.
I know exactly how that goes.
Yeah, it's easy to think that we have it bad. Like Hydra and I are in the Pacific Northwest to some regards. Like, I mean, I'm like Pacific Northwest U.S. and you're, I guess, the
Pacific Southwest
of Canada. Yeah, but we were complaining last week because it was like 80 degrees, but it's hot. You know, usually it's like kind of cool and mild and rainy. I was like, oh, it's hot outside. You guys over in the Midwest, it's like, oh, you have no idea.
Hey, no. It did hit like 110 for a few days straight there, like a month ago.
That was pretty bad. Yeah.
I also definitely think it's funny that Nate continues to think that Texas is in the Midwest.
That shows you. I've lived on the West Coast my entire life, and what do you consider it? I guess it's the
Central.
Yeah, it's kind of the South. Like it's
the South. Okay,
Southwest. It depends.
What did I call it? The Midwest. It's definitely not the Midwest.
No,
it's the
big
mid South. it's
the Texas.
It's just Texas. It's that big thing in the middle bottom.
Right? Jeez.
Didn't mean to do that.
Off to a great start, I see. Oh my goodness. Hey, Shibo, welcome to the show. And it's really exciting to have you on. I love your work. I'm a big fan. Your videos are absolutely amazing between, I think, the comedy aspect, but also the overall design, the animation. They're so much fun. And so I was introduced to you a while back by our good friend Goliath the Dwarf, who you collab with from time to time, right? On some lore stuff of your own. So really excited to get to hang out with you.
I actually met Goliath after, I believe it was after maybe the Skullomance lore video, but it's like, that's where I met him because I watched your stream for it, and I saw Goliath. I'm like, hey, lore guy, I know nothing about World of Warcraft. I've played 5 minutes of World of Warcraft, so I know no lore at all. So going into Hearthstone, just getting this lore and stuff. So it's like, Goliath would be perfect as kind of like the foil for like, give me some lore, and then you can he also has the persona of a dwarf, so he can do like the narrations. And it'll be great. So that's where I met him. It was in the show.
Hey, small world. How about that?
Nice.
Right.
That's awesome.
Hey, so for people who may not be familiar with you, can you give us maybe a little intro about yourself, as much or as little as you want to share? But like, who are you? How did you get started playing Hearthstone, and anything else that you want to share with us?
So, a while back, like way back in 2014, I remember like my friend was like, "There's this new game called Hearthstone, and we should try it." And I was like, no, we have Magic the Gathering. Why would you play Hearthstone? This is a digital card game. This is stupid. Go away. So then how regretful was it that 4 years later, I'm like, hey, can you tell me what's the best deck to play right now in Hearthstone? Because I just got started in
They're like,
2018.
get out.
Yeah. He actually quit at that time, and then like he caught the bug again, and then he's like, "Oh no, you got me back in." So I got it. So I officially started in 2018. It's like Boomsday Witchwood meta. But like, so with that, I started playing Hearthstone then. Haven't reached Legend until like last year. My first Legend was a big Shaman deck, but right before Skullomance happened. So like
Cool.
right before the game like really just hit the gas and the accelerator and became like too fast for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But with that, I started in 2018. My fiance was like really into it too, and she's like, "You should try this out." And she kind of like drifted away from it, but then I started like getting really hardcore into it, just playing solo adventures. Like my favorite part of Hearthstone is like the dungeon runs. So
Mhm.
Kobolds and Catacombs was where I started. I just like grinded that out, and I was like, "This is so fun." I tried doing ranked and didn't I didn't do that very well. I remember being really frustrated. It's like, why can't Taunt Quest Warrior work like 100% of the time? I'm so frustrated. Because I was like, whoa, you can get Sulfuris, and it's like you have the Baku hero power, and this is the most overpowered stuff possible. I'm indestructible, and I can shoot fireballs. It's like and back then it was like rank 15 at the time. So I was into Hearthstone at that time, just playing on my phone usually, and I don't know if we can say the dreaded word, but when that happened back in March last year, being at home, I'm like, I always had the goal of wanting to have like a YouTube channel and like posting game content and all that stuff. And I actually have there's a book that I was reading, and there was a really great caption to it that I hope I can kind of like share a little bit about that.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Please do.
This is a book called Age of Entitlement by Christopher Caldwell. He writes it's sort of like a look at the last 60 years of like American pop culture and like politics and all that stuff. So he had written that like 100 years ago, somebody could communicate a message through like a poem, and they could submit it to like their local newspaper, or they could just submit it throughout their town and stuff. And it would be free. It'd be instantly accessible. You didn't have to have too much skill other than like writing something, just getting it out there. And over the course of the years, with like radio, television, and then the means of access to like get your message out has been like a little too like more complications, such as being more expensive or having tech to back it up. And now we're in this time where it's like you need a really good computer, and like and like he had highlighted that now it's like kind of expensive to just get a message out there. But I felt like I felt that kind of struggle over the last like 10 years, not having access to like a good computer to like make videos, or like, I mean, if anybody uses Adobe products, they know about how
Oh,
awful
tell
the
me
cloud
about
is.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so like I finally was able to get in like a really good financial spot, and it's like game breaking. I was like, I have so many opportunities now, and
Yeah.
it's like now I don't feel bound. I can do the YouTube channel now, and now back then when I wanted to start this, because I started out with RuneScape content back in like 2010. I don't know if you guys know what RuneScape is, but
Oh yeah.
so I started with that, and then like I was like, yeah, this is where it's gonna go. But I had a really bad computer, so didn't have the means to really do that. But with that, I was able to get like a really fancy new computer, and I had a camera, and I was like, all right, let's go make some videos. Just looking back at my most recent video now, it's like just plugging all this time into Adobe Premiere. I'm like, wow, it is really kind of like cringe where I started off like in April last year. But yeah, that's where the channel kind of started. I just wanted to make funny videos, poke humor at the game. I know, because I love Hearthstone and how just it makes fun of itself and the satire on WoW. I love that. I love it when games and things do that. So I was like, that appeals to me, but maybe I could take that further. So that's why I wanted to start the channel like that. So I hope that does answer your question like that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a lot of fun too, and you can tell that you put a lot of energy and you put a lot of heart into your content, and so I highly recommend it to anybody. You know, we'll list all of your contact info and all of your links and stuff in our show notes and on our website and stuff as well. So if anyone's watching or listening to this down the line, like highly recommend checking out Shibo's content, especially on YouTube. It's great. It's really great. One of the things I wanted to ask about a little bit was the artwork on there, because you've got your iconic, like, you know, Shibo character, but the artwork is amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So that is drawn by Namioki, to which started as my girlfriend, now my fiance. So it's like it's like if I need art, I just go next door in my office, like, hey, can I get Shibo but like dressed as Gul'dan and like just make him kind of like silly and like on his spikes but cat skull? She's like, yeah, sure. And a half an hour later, there it is.
What?
So,
That's amazing. I love that.
Incredible.
So it's like I don't have that yet because I have a Gul'dan. I review all the Book of Heroes chapters. It's like one of the things I do for all the videos is like something because I like having the different something identifiable for each video. So the Shibo model will change for the videos, especially with the reviews for the Book of Heroes chapters. So with that, the Gul'dan one, that's going to come out soon. But with that, yes, I wanted to vary it up and just do something different with sort of like channel art. I see, because like when I was researching, it's like, how can I make sure it stands out and express myself in the best way? And I was like, just have a goofy dog dressed up like all these characters from Hearthstone, or when a new set drops, I'll have her be like, can you draw the blue dog in Dark Moon Fair style or United in Stormwind style? And the origin of the blue dog.
Oh yes. Tell us.
It's really this could have been an entirely different conversation too. Because when I was starting, I was like, okay, so I'm very, very, very negative when I'm thinking about like the world and politics and all that kind of stuff. Because like my mind is always there. So I'm like, so what if I just pick Doomsayer as my mascot? So, and like, she got a laugh out of that. I was like, it's really good. So it's like, okay, so like Doomsayer could be it. And I was imagining the opening. It was like, the end is coming, and all that. So, but I was like, it's kind of hard to like dress up a Doomsayer in like X, Y, and Z, because then it's like, oh, is that an elf cosplaying as Gul'dan, or is Gul'dan but with like pointy ears and not an orc? So I was like, the blue dog, because yes, it is a blink fox. Yes. So I looked at blink fox and I liked blink fox. Blink fox looks cool. It has a cool ability. And I was like, it was also like kind of a good meme at the time. So like I was seeing like blink fox memes on Reddit. So I was like, okay, this is something I could go with. And I got a Shiba Inu puppy that month before. So I'm like, how about I just base the channel off him? So I have her draw Shibo like my dog. So
that's rad. I was wondering because when I saw the dog, and then I see the name Shibo, and I was like, is it a Shiba Inu? But then it looks like a blink fox, and like, well, there you go. That's great, man.
Sheep. Yeah. So I have her draw the I see the blink fox emojis. But yeah, but with that, I had her draw the mascot like my dog, and so it's like we always have funny jokes around the house of like, because like our dog's name is Miso, he's a Shiba, so like Miso Soup, just something really silly with it.
That's great.
Yeah,
like, that's great.
We take the dog to my family and they go, oh, it's Soup. Hi, Soup. So we'll have the dog, and it's like, oh, what are you gonna dress up as today, Miso? And like the catchphrases I have on the channel, like anyways, let's get started, or no. We'll just imagine him saying no.
it's great.
So he's become like a household joke, but in a good way. In a good way. It's just, he always reminds us of Shibo.
That's great. What a good story. We typically will ask people like, "Hey, how did you come up with your name?" And see, we went there organically. That's so great. That's so great.
So and with the Jaina and with the with Jaina Shibo, because that there is a lot of controversy. It's like be kind of hard to like have like Jaina or Gul'dan or anything like that if it was Doomsayer. So I'm really glad it ended up with the blue dog. It's just like one question that keeps being asked about me is like, "Are you a furry?" And it's like, "No, please stop. Don't. I'm not." And it's only because it's like people actually like go on my channel and like back. This was like way back then, but they would comment, "It's like, oh, furry, gross, get out of here."
This
it's
is
like,
where
please.
You insert Seinfeld. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
You do what you want to do. That's not me. But it's like everyone keeps tying this in, and it's like, how many times do I have to say it?
That's funny. That is not where my head went.
This was like just like post it to Reddit, and they're like, furry garbage, get out of here. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Well, Reddit is Reddit.
I mean,
so
Yeah,
Reddit. Enough said.
right.
I mean, there is something to having a cute mascot character. We have our own kind of cute, little dragon thing. So it's, it's more fun than some big scary thing. I don't know. We have fun with it anyhow. So, in fact, I think, yeah, right. I mean, it's got to be enjoyable. I don't know. Something to make you smile. So, yeah. What is your favorite class in Hearthstone, or your favorite card, or what is, do you have a preferred play style?
Because like I was writing down some notes here, like what do I say about this? It was like, yeah, I like warrior, and I like I gravitate to big warrior. Okay, well, I like warlock, and void caller. It's I like big warlock. Okay, I don't like priest, but I do like resurrection priest. That's big priest. I like paladin, and it's like, and duel and commencement. I just like big paladin.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I noticed your first couple videos were on like Darkest Hour Warlock.
Oh yeah.
That deck. I miss it.
That was such a stupid yet fun deck. Just
Were you around? Were you around before Naga Sea Witch got nerfed?
I was not. So
I missed that. You would have liked it.
I know about the dark lore of Naga Sea Witch, and I was there for Snip Snap. That was awful.
Yeah, that was. Ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like mana cheat. I like ethical mana cheat, such as warrior, because like warrior doesn't get a cadre of resurrection spells like priest, and like. You got Dead Man's Hand for Recursion. That's like tactical galaxy brain levels of like managing your resources.
Yes.
So it's like you have Gather Your Party, you have Commencement, and the Cowardly Grunt, or whatever his name is, like the new one. So it's like all those things, like they don't copy the minion, they just drag it out of your deck and Yashiraj. So it's like a very delicate balance of like getting your minions out there, not overexerting yourself for a board wipe, and making sure that you have more ammunition for later after the board wipe. So it's like with that, it's like ethical big decks like warrior, or trying to get paladin to work. It's really fun.
Like a dual paladin or something like that.
Yeah, dual commencement, Yashiraj, and Snack Run. Snack Run's a great card for that. You can possibly get a commencement off that, or a duel. And wouldn't that be great?
I mean, you said ethical decks, but I saw what you just hit legend with, so.
Yeah. That was. Look, this is to send a message. I was sending a message to the developers, because if you saw my most recent video today, so before the nerfs, I took I just put Demon Seed into a deck and clicked complete my deck, and the AI built the entire deck, and I just rolled it with it in Legend, and I won 12 out of my 14 games. And I got from low Diamond 4, so like no stars Diamond 4, to Legend in an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh, that's gross. Which version? Is it the fatigue version, or is it the one with all the giants?
Like traditional Sea Glare. So
Okay.
it has your basic components of like Crystallizer, Raised Dead, Dark Glare, Flesh Giant, but like it was playing like Happy Cool, which is like a really good card. Just like, especially if you can cheese it out turn 2 with a full board of guys, because you're gonna heal. And then like if they're in Molten Giants, which it's like I did not play a single Molten Giant, like yeah, factor that in too. So 2 of my cards were inaccessible in my deck, the Molten Giants, because they always cost like 8 mana. I won before I could play the Molten Giants. So this was like I had a handicap of 2 cards I couldn't play, and yet I still got to Legend in like an hour and 10 minutes with an AI deck. And I was like, this is all nuts. But I'm gonna rant too much about Dark Glare. But I did it. I did it to spread the message of like even the AI knows what's going on with Seed Glare. And I told my Discord, I was like, guys, I got Legend in an hour and 10 minutes. Here's the deck. Or just do it yourself. Just put Demon Seeded and click complete my deck. Make sure you have Crystallizer, and just you will get Legend very fast.
Yeah, that card is nutty. I mean, I always like it when there's like an old card that was always bad and all of a sudden it's good again. But it's like the Matrix, like not like this, not like this. You know?
Where it's like, because you could definitely see people like arguing, we need to nerf Crystallizer. Crystallizer needs to only deal like 2 damage, gain 2 armor, or something like that. And it's
Crystallizer
like, no,
is not the problem. You know, let's put that on hold for a minute and loop back to that. No, it's good, but I think we'll touch on it in the news section because there's some maybe upcoming changes. Do you guys have any other questions for Shibo?
No, I don't. Maybe we could move into our weekly recap section.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we just like to check in with everybody, see what's going on, what you've been up to in, your own world or the world of Hearthstone, just anything in general. Nate, let's start with you. What's been going on, man? What's happening?
Yeah, of course. So I played some Hearthstone. I'll get to the deck later, but I got my 500 wins with Demon Hunter, which is exciting. Yeah. I stayed up extra late and did it last night because I was like, over this past week, I was about 30 away, and then I was 20, and then I was like 15. I was like, can I do it before the show? Maybe. And then I got to 10, and I was like, I have to do it before the show. And then I stayed up until like 2 a.m. doing it last night, and I was like, I finally did it. And now, okay, cool. Now I have 500 more wins till I get the nice portrait, but
halfway there.
So that was good. I've been playing some other games too. Like I feel like the wild meta is kind of like flaming garbage at the moment. But I've been playing some other stuff aside from Hearthstone. I will say I was really happy that with this last update they fixed. I was going to go through and replay the Rokara Book of Heroes, and then realized that I don't have to because they fixed the bug and I have my crown now. So,
nice.
So that's great. But yeah, so I played through. I don't know if you guys know, I'm a big fan of these old school like point and click adventure games, and so I went through and replayed Phantasmagoria this past week. It's like one of those old FMV games, the full motion video games, like point and click adventure with like some horror in it. And that was fun. It was really good. I played it over the course of like 2 days, and it was really fun. And then I started playing a game called Stasis. It's like an isometric, like Diablo style, but it's also kind of a point and click adventure, sci-fi / horror. That's you guys talking about that skull or what? Oops. There it is. It's on GOG for $10. It's pretty fun. I think I'm probably about halfway through. It's hard to tell the length of these games sometimes, but I really love adventure games. Like just play mostly for the story. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Armor, I think that was around, like I've played the 7th Guest and the 11th Hour. They actually made like a fan-made sequel called the 13th Doll that you can buy as well. hit me up later. We'll talk about it. But yeah, I've been playing Stasis and it's fun. I have been binge watching lots of TV. I've been working on a lot of Photoshop stuff for our listener series. And typically what I'll do is I'll be playing around in Photoshop on one screen, and then I'll have like Netflix or Hulu or whatever playing on the other screen. And so I jammed through season 1 and season 2 of Attack on Titan, which is great. Like I had already watched the first season and then went through and watched all the second season, which is awesome. And we'll hit the third soon. But I was a little tapped out. Like I did 2 seasons of that, like just back to back, and it's pretty heavy. And so like I need something a little different. I want something like totally mind numbing, like just some cheesy whatever. And so I opened up Hulu and I was kind of browsing through the reality TV stuff. And I stumbled upon this show called Kings of Pain. It is like the most terrible TV show that I've ever seen. And I just binge watched an entire season of it. So here's the premise, right? It's these 2 guys, and these are like manly guys with beards, and one of them's got an Australian accent. Like these are macho dudes, and what they have decided to do is, there's this like old school pain index that goes 1 through 4, and some scientists measured like, how painful is this, bee sting? How painful is this bug bite or whatever? And these guys are like, well, we're going to modernize it. And we're going to, essentially what they do is they take the most dangerous, like wasps and hornets and spiders and snakes and piranhas, and then they purposefully get bit by them or stung or injected. And then they yell and scream, and then they rate the pain. And it's like, it's insane. So these guys, they go down, they hunt the animal, and they film the whole thing like, oh, we're going to catch this scorpion. And then they talk about it and they hype it up, and they got their Australian accent like, oh, this is the most scary, dangerous scorpion and whatever. And then they catch it, and then they sit down and they stick it on their arm and like poke at it until it stings them. And then it starts bleeding and swelling, and they start screaming. And like, I remember texting Sheep. They did one. They did one with the Burmese python. It's supposed to be like the biggest snake in the world, and they caught it, and then they let it bite them, and it's like, I mean, jeez Louise. So I was watching it. I sent him a photo of it. It's super gross, but the quote was, he goes,
and confirm,
dude, it opened me up good. I'm bleeding a lot, man. Like, I don't
Last
even.
words.
I don't even know what I just watched.
Right.
Like 10 episodes of this. How are they not dead? Yeah. So they sit there. It's these 2 guys, and then they have a team of doctors that are like on the side, and they measure all of their vitals and stuff, like both before and after. And
in the director's cut, I'm sure that the medical team is strongly advising them not to do it before and during the event.
I cannot imagine the lawyers working on this show. Like, you must have to sign all kinds of like, I will not sue you if I die. Like, I mean, it's crazy. It's insane. So it's on Hulu if anybody wants to watch it. I don't know that I would recommend it, but it is definitely something. The snake one in particular was just gnarly. Like, I have never seen anything quite like. These guys caught piranhas and then stuck their hands in and let the piranhas chew on them. It's like, are you joking me?
Why?
Go to medical school.
It's like,
You go to medical school for 12 years, and it's like you move your way through school, and like you're a doctor, and your first assignment is to help some frat boys get bitten by snakes and piranhas.
oh my gosh. The worst one.
Train for this.
Oh my goodness. The worst one. So each episode they do like 2 or 3. So it's like a bug and they got all kinds of gross stuff. The worst one, like the one that got to me the worst, was that they had this tarantula, and they got the tarantula to bite him, and it has these giant fangs, and it like the fangs go in and then they go in more, and it like, oh my god, I just like I could feel it watching this. It's just cringing, but I somehow made it through 9 episodes of this and made some pretty nice artwork for the listener series. So that's kind of what I've been up to. I'm very happy it's the weekend. It's been a long week at work, and so I'm excited. I did start the Gunslinger. I told my wife, it's like, hey, Sheep and Hydra have been like reading the Gunslinger, and I have it. Like, I'm gonna read it too. We could have like our Born to Be Wild book club going on here. Mm-hmm. And I started it, and man, I am struggling with it. It's I'm having a rough time between the like the verbiage that they use and like the funky cowboy slang, and
there's weird words for sure.
Yeah,
but I will keep pushing through because I'm invested now.
Yeah, having read all of the Dark Tower, the Gunslinger is probably the hardest one to get into, even though it's like the shortest one. It gets better, and also it's like it's not even that the Gunslinger is bad. It's just a lot. It's very exposition heavy, which is kind of necessary for all the things that it sets up. But it's the fact that you're struggling through it a little bit. You're getting used to the language. You're getting used to like you're learning all of the new characters and. Yeah, it's the learning curve book for sure.
It reminds me if I read anything before 1950, it's just like everything is so wordy and there's like hardly any punctuation, and I'm like, oh, this is just such a slog to read. What are you trying to tell me, book?
Yeah. I will jam through it. I mean, it's pretty short compared to all the other ones.
Yeah.
So I'll jam through it and then I'll report back. But I'm excited to I feel like I'm doing a little book club now. So anyways, yeah, Sheep, what have you been up to this week?
Yeah, so you mentioned busy work. Busy work is the name of the game for me as well. I work in higher ed and the students are coming back. Funny thing about that, work picks up. Who'da thunk?
Right.
Yeah.
So
well,
they're the reasons why we have a job. That is not a complaint, but it's also very busy. So outside of general work craziness, the work's been pretty decent. Played Sea of Thieves on Wednesday, which was a blast, and I always have fun going on some sea excursions. Hung out with Hydra and Nate and Jordan last night.
Oh yeah, how can I forget?
Cute cards.
That was super fun. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so Jordan MG will be editing that together, and that'll be on his YouTube channel, and that was so much fun. Definitely check that out whenever you get a chance, because oh man, some of those cards are adorable. And there's a special tier for a card that you would not expect going into a cute Hearthstone card rating. So check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a blast.
So now, of course, get to kick it with the crew here. Earlier in the week, I watched Birds of Prey, the like Harley Quinn movie. It started as more of like an ensemble thing whenever they were marketing it, and then they were like, oh, Harley Quinn is the one who's marketable, so then they like changed it to be more like Harley Quinn centric, and I heard that it was like meh, and so I went into it like, well, this isn't going to be very good. Like, I saw the original Suicide Squad movie, like it's not going to be good, and then it was a really good movie, so I was like, all right,
it
top
was
tier. No, but I had really low expectations.
Yeah.
And then it far surpassed them. Like it was nice. Really fun.
Yeah. I had fun with it as well. The new one I think was really good. The new Suicide Squad, if you haven't watched it, like it was really good.
Oh yeah. The new Suicide Squad is just an all-around great movie. This one was definitely, like you said, more of the like fun tier, which there's nothing wrong with. Like every once in a while I want to just, watch a fun movie, and kind of what I needed this week, and we take those.
I remember watching Suicide Squad back in 2016, and it's like, is this new one just like a complete restart, or is it a continuation? What is it?
Yeah, so it's a continuation, but instead of like the original director, whatnot, I don't even know who did the first one. I've seen it. Eventually, I finally finished it. I fell asleep watching the first one like 4 times. Like, it's not good. If you like the movie, I'm sorry, it just wasn't my thing. The new one though was directed by James Gunn,
Oh yeah.
who did like Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and it's really good.
Yes.
Not to mention Slither, if anyone's ever seen that movie.
Yeah, Slither.
From 2005, like that old
Something
one.
like that. Yeah.
About that vintage, yeah.
That was a weird movie.
Yeah. So speaking of movies, I also started watching Howl's Moving Castle on Nate's recommendation, and it was really good, but it was a little heavier and like more melancholy than I kind of needed. Like, you know,
Oh yeah. It's
busy week is like, I need something that's a little bit more of an escape. So I put that one back on the shelf, and I'll bring it back out later. But I'll definitely get back to it because I can tell it's gonna be really good. I just haven't finished that one off yet.
you got to be in the right mode for it. Like it's not a happy movie the way that a lot of like the Studio Ghibli stuff is. Like it's not. It's melancholy is a good word for it. It has a good ending, and the book is amazing. Like hands down. I've got the audiobook. I'll give it to you guys. It's so good. It's better. In fact, it's not quite as sad, and the ending is really cool. And there's a lot of stuff that the movie leaves out. So, anyways,
So I've been on kind of I would say a Studio Ghibli kick, but like I hadn't seen any of the Studio Ghibli films before, like earlier this month, and I've now seen many more than zero. So going into it with all of the like kind of happy aesthetic of like Totoro and the Spirited Away stuff, like I thought it was just gonna be, kids movie. It's just like happy fun, like yay. And then I watched it and I'm like, these are much more serious isn't the right word, almost melancholy, but like they're much deeper than I thought that they would be going into it, and that's not at all a complaint, obviously. Like I kept on watching more of them.
yeah.
But this past week was definitely not one for Howl's Moving Castle at the very least. So put that one back on the shelf, and I'll get back to it before too long. Also, speaking of watching kind of like light-hearted type stuff, watch some things happen in Big Brother, which is my guilty pleasure, and Hydra and I will probably have to talk about that before too long. But I'm not happy with what just happened this week. So if you watch it, commiserate with me. But we will be going forward and watching more.
It's funny how upset you
Trash
can
TV.
get. Like there was one season, I can't remember who went out, but somebody went out, and my wife, it was like mid-season. She's like, I'm not watching the rest of the season. Like I'm done. I have no reason to watch anymore. And I'm like, what?
yeah. Yeah, that's like whenever the celebrity, like the second celebrity one happened and Tom Green went out, my wife was like, we're done. Like, we don't need to watch the rest of this. Like, he was the last good part of the show. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're done.
So that's been my week here in the city of Electric Sheep. How have things been in your neck of the woods, Shibo?
Well, Goliath has been hosting a D&D campaign, and we just wrapped that up.
Oh, fun. What type of character do you have? What is your character?
I was so I'm playing a rogue, and we're done with part 1, and we're going to part 2 like sometime soon once we figure out our schedules. But I was playing and I don't play D&D that very often, so I'm very much a rube when it comes to understanding like anything about it. I really just want to like role play and just enact it out and stuff. But I'm playing a rogue right now. He is a young pirate recruit for a very small group of pirates. These pirates were afflicted with a curse when they were pillaging an island of treasures, and all like various body parts of theirs are enchanted by the curse. So my character's left pinky is enchanted by the curse to where if he touches anything with his left pinky, he can identify the value of the item he's touching in any sort of currency that he can think of. But you know how a library is as useful to anyone who does or does not want to read. It's like my character has to understand what currency I want to be looking into. So like for example, like I'm not like if my character doesn't know what Canadian dollars are, he's not going to be told the Canadian dollar worth of the item he touches. So I will like text Goliath in Discord. It's like, hey, I'm gonna touch this. How much is it worth? Because only I can know it.
That's fun. That sounds like so much fun. My goodness.
His crew, his captain, his right ear was enchanted to where he can speak telepathically to all of the crewmates. So he's been taunting and torturing me, my character, to where it's like he can't get sleep because all he does, he has my brother kidnapped, and I'm working for him to try to get my brother back. So with that, we found out that he's been bound and held captive on the island we're on. So he's just been taunting me the whole time, like, get over here, just go on, and just like, it's 4 a.m, please, I'm trying to sleep. So we're acting that out, and we found the prison, and like my character has kind of like gone through a progression of just being like a coward. In the beginning, it was like there were some crabs on the beach that we had to fight, and like my character was like scurrying up the palm tree to throw like coconuts and rocks at it at the crabs, and everyone's just like, what are you doing? They're just crabs. It's like, I know, I don't want confrontation. So
You don't want to get crabby.
well, the first time, like I disbanded from the group so I could telepathically communicate with the captain, and I went to sleep in a cave, and I woke up next to a giant scorpion. Like Goliath was like, and you wake up next to a scorpion. What do you do? So it's like,
Oh my gosh. Do you guys record these by any chance?
oh, we don't.
Oh man. That
sorry.
would be great. Have you ever watched Harmon Quest by any chance?
We watch Harmon Quest. Like I don't watch them, but my fiance will have them on. She watches Harmon Quest. She watches what's that one with Matt Mercer? With like
Critical Role, yeah.
Yeah, Critical Role. Yeah.
yeah. Critical Role. Like she'll watch that and stuff. So
I'm telling you guys, this is the winning formula. You record your sessions, edit them, and do like Shibo videos of like, animated D&D campaign. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of work, but I would watch it till the cows come home. Or a podcast. Just saying. The entertainment value is so high. Oh my goodness.
Especially if we can simplify the things too, because like I was telling Goliath, because he's like, "What does your guy look like?" I'm like, South Sea deckhand, but without the bandana on."
Nice. That's a great touchdown too.
And he's like, "What's your captain look like?" Gangplank from League of Legends before his art rework, I guess. So I just imagine like the South Sea deckhand just like bouncing around and stuff and jumping up the palm tree. So that's a good idea, but I have so much on my plate because these videos take a lot of time. So I don't know. But if we did like maybe like a quick 10-minute like recap of the adventure, I think we could do that. Especially since one of our characters is just basically Sawyer from Lost. So it's like I could just take Sawyer and just put him in the clip.
Oh my goodness.
Like Sawyer and South Sea deckhand. And Goliath is really wanting me to talk about the conclusion because my character like arced. He was able to overcome his fears, and he's been trying to get everyone in his party to kill his captain for him because he just can't do it, and he's tired of the torment. So he eventually, and I had like I came up with it on the fly, but like I was basically saying like, you have tormented me all my life. You have my brother captive. You are nothing more. Like, you are nothing more than a worthless man, and now your life is in my hands. And like my character, like I was giving like really deep, like hijy kind of like commentary, and I stabbed him in the throat.
Wow!
And the other crewmates were watching, just absolutely terrified. And so I can come up with like dialogues like that on the fly, but like Goliath tested me as like, okay, what are the crewmates' names? I'm like, Charles. And he goes, no, that's the captain's name. I was like, oh, crap. Charles II. Okay, cool. He's Charles II. What's the other one's name? I was like, Darls. Okay. So Goliath is like, so Charles and Darls are terrified of what you just did.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
Now they're indebted to me, and we're gonna find my brother. The next chapter.
Nice. That's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, we just got done with that session, and nothing really spectacular. Watched RoboCop, as you can see by the video that I had there. There's someone on my Discord named It's a Me Shovel. He highly recommended the old version and not the new version. And I looked a little bit at the new version. I'm like, yeah, I can tell where this falls off. But I do like those like 1970s, 1980s, 1990s like renditions of what the future is going to be like, dystopian kind of movies. And just seeing like, oh, that's cute. They think that the future is going to have robots that walk incredibly stiff and have guns in their thighs.
I'm still upset that we don't have hoverboards. So,
Right?
Yeah, 6 years ago too, right? Watch that, and that was the basis for the video. Nothing really spectacular beyond that, though, besides the D&D campaign and stuff.
sounds like a lot of fun, though. Hey, Hydra, what have you been up to this past week?
Well, this past week has been actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. This week was supposed to be absolute mayhem at work. We had tons of things that we were supposed to do. It was supposed to be absolutely crazy, and it all got delayed. So
You take those?
like we take those, especially since next week I'm on vacation.
Nice.
Good for me, not so good for my coworkers, because I feel like they're going to be absolutely swamped, because we had so much that was supposed to be coming in, and like so much that is going out, and all sorts of stuff that was going on. And it's not going to be an easy time, but for me, I'm like, yep, I'm out of there. It's like, just, it's about time. It's been really crazy summer, and I'm just stoked. So we're heading off to a local lake with hot springs and nice beach. And something really, really cool is this amazing floating water park that they have.
Yeah, dude, this thing looks crazy.
Yeah, really if you guys are watching the video of this, you can see pictures of it. So this thing floats like a couple 100 feet off the beach, and it's just full of trampolines and slides. It's inflatable, so it's all bouncy around. It's like one giant, massive bouncy castle, if you can imagine that.
Are you sure these aren't photos of American Ninja Warrior?
Kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
The thing is, I have been on it before, so like I know it exists. But yeah, no, this place it's really, really cool. In the bottom photo, if you look, it has the big inflatable pillow thing where you get launched. And so like one person sits on the giant pillow, and there's the tower behind it where people stand on, and then they jump and they land on the pillow, and you get launched like Jackass style.
Dude,
right? Except no one's shooting you with paintballs.
That person's like at least 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I've done this launch before. It was pretty sad, actually, because a couple of years back, my son and I stood in line to get to be launched, and when we got there, they're like, "Oh, no one told you have to be 12." And my kid was like nine or so at the time, and he's like, "No!" And so he's stoked this year because he is 12. So like he's ready to go. But so he got to watch me go, and when I went, like I'm a decent acrobat. Like I've had a trampoline my whole life. I can do flips. I can flip on my snowboard. I can do that sort of thing. I'm good at that.
That's rad.
Nice.
And yeah, I don't often like talk about it or anything like that, but I like flipping. I'm good at it. Like I can do multiple backflips in a row. I can do backflip 360s, front flip 360s, and tie them all together. It's stupid, pointless talent that I've had ever since I was a teenager.
I did not know that, but it does not surprise me.
Well, it tied in with like I've always been skateboarder, snowboarder, thing.
Yeah.
So it fit right in there. But on this, as soon as you get launched, like if you don't sort of, because the first time I did it, I didn't know what I was expecting. And as soon as you get launched, if you're not 100% ready for it or know how to project yourself, like you have zero control as soon as you are in the air. So when I went up, so I was like in a laying back sort of seated position. And then when I went up, that's exactly how I went up. And I went up and up and up. And I slowly rotated backwards to the point where my shoulder blades were just facing the water, but about like 20, 30 feet in the air sort of thing. And then just straight back down all the way and landed like flat on my shoulder blades and back like into the water. I was like,
Oh my
when
goodness.
I got out of the water, I'm like, honey, I need a massage.
Oh gosh. Wow.
But it's super fun. I'm really happy to go again, and it's going to be our little getaway. We're not staying too long, just a few days, enough to, it's got a little town around the beach, and there's all these restaurants, and we got a hotel, and there's the hot springs, and they got this, and they also, you can rent boats, so we're going to rent a boat. And
Wow. All right.
yeah.
Charter
So
boat?
Can I come? No.
come on.
That's,
I want to launch. Oh, can I launch you?
oh, I'm all yes. The short answer is yes. I'm all over that. This looks
Make it
like
so.
this looks like fun, man. That's exciting. I'm glad. Hey, you know what? Vacation's always much needed, so I'm happy for you.
Yeah. As for, you touched on the Gunslinger a little bit earlier. I finished it, so I'm done the Gunslinger. I'm done part 1 of the Dark Tower series, and I will be moving on to the second one. I don't know if I will right away because I'm going on vacation. Might wait till afterwards.
Yeah.
Depending, we'll see. But
Drawing of the Three would probably be a good one to read, like in a beach environment.
I could do that.
Just saying, like you'll see what I'm saying whenever you do read it.
Okay, because I know they've already alluded, like he was already been told about his destiny, about drawing of the Three, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, there's so much. Nate, get through the first one. Like,
Yeah.
there is some confusion. Like, I didn't understand. They'll do like a flashback in the Gunslinger, and they don't tell you they're doing a flashback, and I'm like, who are these characters? Who's Court? What is happening? Like suddenly there's these extra characters, and the Gunslinger has a different name, and you're like, what is, like, I don't, like, I'm so confused. And like, I actually rewound that part, Sheep, where they do the flashback, and like 4 times to like understand what was happening. But I understood it finally. That's the problem. Like, I get like ADD sort of thing when I'm reading books. Like, especially if it's an audiobook, I will think about work or something while it's happening. It's crap. Rewind.
I have to do that sometimes too, but
no, I got to the end and I have nothing but questions. Like, this universe that they're in, what is it? Like, it's so confusing, and then it leaves you hanging. And then I looked it up. It was 5 years between the first one and the second one. And I'm like, you jerks. Like,
you know what? You don't have to wait.
I don't have to wait, but then you did.
what's crazy is like the most recent, like part 7 or whatever, like it came out not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Like
the last decade.
right? Yes.
So this is like 40 years in the making so far.
Crazy.
Oh, laughs in A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah. No, so it's great. I'm absolutely loving it. I can't wait to dive into the next one and continue on in the series. Once I get into these, I get kind of addicted. So, game wise, I have only played Hearthstone this week. I have not played other games. I haven't really had too much time for it. I've been really lazy after work recently. I've been getting home and it's like, all right, let's get back into whatever game. And I'm like, or I could just watch YouTube videos.
Hey, we actually had a question for you from the Discord. I know you answered it already, but I thought for the listeners might be interested. So
Yeah, for sure.
let me just pull it up real quick because it was about your playing on multiple servers. So this is from Jeroen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that wrong or right, so I apologize. But the question says, Hydra, are your alternate Hearthstone accounts still free to play? Does doing all the quests on those accounts feel like a chore or fun because you gain a collection for free? I'm free to play myself, and I have just one account. When I don't finish my quests, I feel like I missed out. But I don't do it when I don't feel like playing. Can't imagine having to do it for 3 accounts. I enjoy listening to your weekly accounts. Of the itch of doing them, I recognize it. So I love the question, and I thought, hey, if anyone else is listening and wants to know the answer as well.
Yeah, for sure. So yes, I am free to play on the other accounts with one exception. I did try to do the rewards track, the boosted version at one point in time. So I did do that. And while, yeah, sure, it was quicker and I got my rewards quicker, I don't know if how much extra gold I really did get in the end, because I've also done it without it, and at the end I still had like 8,000-ish gold. So like I don't know if it was worth it. Yeah, I got the cool skins and whatnot that came with it, but like maybe I didn't have that sense of urgency because I had the pass, so I didn't grind as hard. But like there's no problem hitting to your level 100 without the pass, right? Like it's not difficult. You literally just do your daily quests, your weekly quests, and you get there. Like I don't sit there and grind out games on those accounts other than literally to try to keep my star bonus. Like that's basically it. It's make sure you max out your star bonus and do all your daily quests, and then I'm out. Right? Like I don't really play around over there too much, but my favorite thing is opening those packs, right? Like I've played Hearthstone for so long that on my NA account, I have cards. I have a lot of cards. And so it's not cool for me anymore to, oh, I got that legendary, or oh, I can finally build this deck. Like I've done all that, and that's kind of over, right? And
golden common.
yeah, I'm like, ooh, whoa.
Golden Legendary doesn't hit that hard anymore.
It's still pretty cool, but no, you're not like, that's amazing, right? So
Yeah.
that feeling is still there. Like with the other accounts, when I'm busting open my packs, I say I have 8,000 gold, buy my 80 packs, and then hit that rewards track and open more. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to get when you get to it's like level 20 or whatever, you get a legendary, and level 50. It's super exciting to see what I'm going to get. And like, I get that rush over there. And then I'm like, oh, what can I put together? What can I build? And I do end up being able to build competitive wild and standard decks based off of just the free stuff that I get based on my grinding. Part of the question, or a big part of the question there was, is it a chore? And it can be. It definitely can be. When I first started doing it, I did it completely out of boredom. Like, oh, okay, like what? I just get to start this new account. It's going to be fun. And then I did that for like a solid year and a half. And that's when I got the third account. And then it was exciting there too. And then I was balancing them all, and just every day came home, make sure quests were done. And it was easy. It was really, really easy to manage when it was super exciting near the beginning. And then it does become a little bit of a chore later on. I find what I do is on the weekends, I try to jam out all of my weeklies like the second I get them. So on Sunday, for me, it's like 8 or 9 a.m. Asia pops where I get my quests.
Oh,
and I just jam them all out Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Like, just get rid of them, get rid of the 3 daily quests that I have. So I like try to zero it out instantly. Okay. And then at 4 in the afternoon, in comes EU on Sunday. And so then I do the same thing there. 3 daily quests, 3 weeklies, try to re-roll weeklies that I don't want. Like I don't want to have to play 5 Battlegrounds games when I can play 1 Battlegrounds game and get 1500 damage in. Right? So I'll like re-roll for stuff like that and just jam through them. And then, but there's times where you're busy, right? You're doing family stuff, you're doing other stuff, and it will get pushed. You'll have like, I'll come to my computer finally at like 10 o'clock at night and I'll go, oh no, I've got 3 dailies on Asia. And if I don't clear them, I'll burn one. And you're like, oh, I guess I'll play. And it'll be like, play 3 games with Hunter or something. I'm like, I want to go to bed. But I'm just playing like 3 Hunter games just to get my 900 XP or whatever it is, just so I don't burn it. Jeez. And so that happens too. So like it can become a bit of a pain. And I think that's only if you let it, because it depends on your mindset. Sometimes I will feel like I really want to clear it. And then I got to think about it and go like, does it really matter? This isn't my main account. Right? Like, I don't need to grind out all of these quests because I can just play on my main account where I have all of the stupid cards. So, like, in the end, it actually, so you kind of like have to keep a mindset. If you have like a main account and that's what you stick to, you don't really need to put that much effort into your secondary account. If you just play it for fun, you build your collection, don't try to think of it as I need to do it, because you don't. Nobody needs to do it. But like you'll find yourself like trying to get them out because you want to get all the cards. But as strictly from someone who is 100% free to play on their main account, like we got in the question, I can definitely see at that point you do feel like you missed out on something, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't put any cash into the game, and if you miss that XP, then yeah, you can feel like you missed it. But in my opinion, if you don't feel like playing the game that day, don't let it control you, right? Like don't play it. Just don't do it. Don't log on just because you have to. And I know that I have, but I feel like it's a bit of a chore if you really don't feel like just don't do it if you don't feel like it. Don't let the game control you in that way. But I will say I have an absolute blast building the collections, building my decks. I've gotten to the point where I have a lot of competitive decks on the other servers, and I only build a wild collection because to me it doesn't make sense on a free-to-play account, and only my opinion, to try to keep up with standard. And I don't play standard a lot anyway. And so you build a wild collection and it's there forever.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
That's a good mindset. Yeah.
I craft all the main wild card. Hi, wild card. I craft all the main wild cards that you need, the main legendaries and stuff, with an exception that we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, if you're enjoying the game and you want to complete those quests, just do it. But yeah, if you're not into it and you want to go chill and watch TV, don't worry about it. It's not the end. It's not the end of the world. Play the game because it's fun. Don't play it because you feel like you have to.
Yeah, play the game. Don't let the game plague you.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Worst part about that too, because it's like, I don't know if you have Hearthstone on your phone or anything like that, because it's like I will catch myself. It's like, oh no, I have two dailies and a weekly left, and it's Sunday. What do I do? It's 10 o'clock. I'm going to bed.
Not anymore.
Well, I thought I was going to sleep at a good time tonight.
Yeah.
I know the worst is like on the Sunday, and it's like it's got to be something that's ridiculous. Like use 50 hero powers, and you got to go to bed, and you're like, oh man,
Let's play Warlock.
I got to use 50. You can just sit there and tap and kill yourself. Yeah. You don't even have to play the real match.
What does bot do with Warrior?
Yeah, do the odd warrior bot strat, yeah. but don't actually be a bot. Just
don't rope.
Yeah,
because that will just
push the button more past
longer.
turn. Yeah, push the button past turn. Push the button past turn.
Ugh. Or you get odd pally reporting for duty over and over again, or even pally. Yeah, but yeah, long story short, I get a lot of pleasure out of creating these decks on a free-to-play account. But yeah, don't let the game play you, like Sheep said.
Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah. So that's basically my week. We did a little bit of co-op on the weekend, which I had a lot of fun with. I'll talk about that a little more later. But it was really good week, and now I'm on vacation, so next week's gonna be even better.
Rock and roll.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's move into a little bit of some listener series news and see where we're at. Sheep.
Yeah, so the listener series kicks off this week with week 1. So week 1, our challenge this week is Pauper Week. So all commons and rares and basic cards are allowed. No epic cards or legendaries. That extends to the core set as well. So if you had the basic variant of like Flame Strike, that was you could use that one, but you couldn't use the core set version because that has the epic gem on it. Kind of a clever little way of doing that thing there, right? But so all commons and rares and basics, and we get to feature a match this week right after the show. So stay tuned. We're going to watch Maxibon, the runner-up of last season's tournament series format thing, take on Duocat in the arena. Duocat made it into our playoffs as well. So an incredible match. Can't wait to watch them face off in week 1 in the Pauper Week. So if you're looking at having like a free-to-play account, hey, commons and basics and rares.
It seemed like a good
probably
idea
do that
for week 1 because it's, that's stuff everybody's got. There's no crafting involved. There's some, it's not a super difficult challenge in terms of deck building. And I think we get more and more restrictive as the weeks go on. But yeah, for those of you who are watching this live, stay tuned after the show and we're going to cast this match. So that'll be a lot of fun. And for those of you watching the video or listening to the audio version of this later, we'll record the match and it'll be up on our YouTube. And we won't spoil it, but it'll be a lot of fun. So check it out for sure.
No matter the game, anything that has a Pauper variant is just great. It's so fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite kind of like go-to challenges because it's a tried and true and always a blast to navigate and to cast and to play. Yeah, always so much fun.
Like at this point in time with the free-to-play accounts that I do have on the other servers, if I were to play in a tournament that was Pauper over there, I could fully participate because I have collected so many of these cheap cards over the years, right? So that's just another advantage. If people like Pauper, we should fully support that form. It's just such a fun little format, right? We don't see enough of it, I swear.
It almost makes like when new sets come out, because like how they'll like power creep cards. Like there was Magnetar Alpha for like the Warrior one, where it's like it also hits adjacent minions. And then they made like Lakeside Thresher and Skullomance, the neutral common minion. It just makes you really excited for when new sets come out. It's like, oh, Lakeside Thresher. Oh, this is so good for my Pauper deck.
Yeah,
that's a good perspective. I mean, we kept saying like, oh, this will be good in arena. Oh, this will be a listener series card.
Yeah.
Pauper tier, got it.
Love it.
Now I have a replacement for Magnetar Alpha now.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah, so that is what's going on this week in the first week of Season 3 of the Born to be Wild listener series.
Nice.
So that's the news here. Speaking of news, what's going on around the Hearthstone new zeitgeist, Hydra?
The favorite thing that we like to hear is balance changes. So we already got another tweet from Dev Alec Dawson, and he has stated that we have a bit of a schedule to look out for in the next few days here. And so it starts off with, on the 31st of August, we're going to get 2 changes to Warlock. And it's already stated that they will be upping mana costs. So we can maybe make some predictions here as to what's going to happen. But before we do that, the next 2 days after that, there will be an evaluation of the meta to see how it's going. And then on September the 10th, sorry, not 2 days after that, the next two, it looks like a week or two, up to the 10th of September.
About a week and a half or so.
Yeah, that they're going to evaluate the meta. And then they will decide on the 10th if there is going to be more changes needed. And later in September, if so, those will be going live. And that will include some Battleground stuff if that's what you're into. So first of all, we've got 2 changes in Warlock. They're upping the mana cost. What are they upping the mana cost on? I can already see that Shibo is like raising his hand. What do you think?
Because I see in the notes here that you said that Warlock cards are being hit. However, Alec Dawson never says cards. Just says 2 Warlock changes, upping mana. Is this
Make life tap cost 3?
Yeah, is this the very anticipated Warlock hero power costing 3? Or maybe 4? I don't know.
No.
This is
5
it.
mana hero power.
The vague tweet means something.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Somewhere Blue Train is laughing hysterically, and
You have hope, and I love it. And I feel sorry for you.
I was gonna say the Warlock quest line. You know, all the quest lines cost 1 to play the quest. They'll just switch it to 5 mana, and then you just can't play it until turn 5. We need a little head start.
No. What they'll do is make Skulking Geist cost 1. They should do that. Then you could just. Oh, that would destroy the game for 1 day. They could do that.
Well, so no, this is for real though. This is interesting because I thought about, because we had said, hey, I don't feel like Flesh Giant, like the nerf was a big hit to it, right? I mean, it still costs 0, so you know, whatever. But he said specifically Warlock changes, and so it made me think, well, that's a dual class card, so they're probably not going to touch that. And that made me think that they're probably not going to touch Raised Dead either.
No.
I mean, they probably should, but like, I kind of doubt that they will. I mean, who knows? This is not gospel here, but I'm not sure. Like, I feel like they have to touch the Warlock quest line. I don't really know what they do to it. Maybe they remove the lifesteal from the reward part, or maybe they just make it cost more. I mean, he says upping mana, feels focused. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
It's so vague.
So in standard, D6, which is the 6 demon variant of the demon seed, is a big thing. So Stealer of Souls, the matron where you play it and it discards the most expensive card in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course Dark Glare. That's kind of one of the kind of considered, like, you know, top tier kinds of decks. Are they gonna nerf Stealer, which won't affect us because it's already banned? They've already hit Dark Glare. Are they going to hit Matron, like Nightshade Matron? Like,
doesn't seem.
I don't think they need to hit Matron. Are they going to hit the free admission?
Oh, these are too hard. I got to make these bigger. Yeah, free admission seems like a good one to me.
So those are my proposed nerfs for the patch notes from a while ago, where I was like, all right, we understand the Demon Seed Warlock is a little too fast, so we want to try to slow down some of its major components, such as Crystallizer dealing too much damage to yourself. So these are the proposed changes.
This is great. Crystallizer, I don't think Crystallizer giving you the armor, like 5 damage in the armor.
It's an armor vendor, but better.
That's great. That's great. What do you think about the Warlock questline in general? I don't remember who said this. Maybe it was Goliath. I don't remember anymore. But someone was talking about the idea of Warlock having to expend blood to get this great reward. Like, it makes sense thematically. Like, yes, I have to, inflict pain on myself to get this great reward or whatever. Like, yeah, okay. But why armor? Like, okay, yeah, deal damage to your health, but armor doesn't count. Like, if they did a tweak where armor didn't count towards that would probably, well, I feel like that would help.
Yeah, that would help us in Wild for sure. I don't know that it would help in Standard so much because it's not a huge thing there.
Oh yeah,
which is the only thing that I think is kind of leaning towards that not being the thing.
That's a format.
Because yeah, that's not only a format, but the one that they kind of pay the most attention to because that's you have to pay to keep up with it. So that's kind of the cash cow. I get it. So I don't think that we're really going to see a whole lot from that in particular, which is unfortunate because that would affect us a lot.
Yeah. I'm looking. So I went to HS Replay and I pulled up the deck that has the highest number of games, which is the Questline Warlock here. Quest Stealer Warlock is what it's called. This is probably your D6. So looking at the cards with the highest win rate, the Ruined Mithril Rod is the highest at 57.4%. And the next up is Free Admission. And then the other two are Hand of Gul'dan and then the Demon Seed. And then we look at the drawn win rate. The Touch of the Nathrazim is drawn win rate 58.5%. It's just really high, and Backfire is 58.2. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like, God, what if they don't touch the quest line? What if they hit one of these? Like, Backfire seems like a pretty good contender. I don't know.
Feels like something they do. Just completely ignore the quest line, unless they want to make it cost 3.
Or Stealer of Souls. Stealer of Souls is another one. The mulligan win rate is low, but the drawn win rate and the played win rate is 62%. And Backfire played win rate 63.4%. Hand of Gul'dan is even higher, but like, I don't know. I think they'd hit Hand of Gul'dan before they hit Matron.
What was the quest line win rate? Played win rate?
Hold on. Played win rate is only 52.3%.
I'm just imagining when they say upping mana, Hand of Gul'dan will cost 7 instead of 6.
What a waste! What a waste that would be.
So
Make it on
mana
again.
so not only mana, but also mana cheat, free admission. Whenever you play that, it discounts if they're both demons that you draw. Maybe giving it the upside of the demons is a thing that they hit. Maybe they make you pay more to get it. I don't know. Free admission wouldn't affect us at all in Wild.
No, free admission wouldn't. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if they hit the quest, I'm totally okay with it because I have 2 copies.
Same.
Yeah, I know. I do
I've got a
too. I do
golden
too.
one and a
Actually,
regular one.
Same.
I
Wow, I'm impressed. I think Backfire is a candidate, and I think that would impact Wild as well.
Yeah, that one for sure would.
By the way, looking at the win rates in Standard is one thing. Looking at the win rates in Wild is ridiculous. Like, just absolutely ridiculous. Drawn win rate 82%, played win rate 92%. Like, what?
Which card is that?
That's Battle Master, but Flesh Giant is Flesh Giant drawn win rate 84.8%, played win rate 85.4%. Like, that's crazy.
As soon as you draw it, you can play it.
Pretty much.
Because I was getting those screen caps for my video of like what are the win rates for like Dark Lair, Flesh Giant, Battlegrounds, Battlemaster, and Demon Seed, and I was like 70s.
Dude.
Like I've never. Like, last time I saw 70s was, like, when I looked over, I think I saw the screenshot of, like, Wretched Tiller, like, hitting, like, 60s or 70s for that 1 week where, like, it was the combo to play. I was like,
golly Bob, howdy.
Yeah.
I am undead.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, yeah. Okay, wait. Here's the stats. I'll put them up on the screen. They're pretty crazy. It's
81.8 with the down arrow. 81.8%.
That went down.
Down.
right.
What's the worst one is the Solarium at 71%.
That's just the mulligan win rate. Drawn win rate is up to 82.1.
Isn't that
And
nutty?
played is 79.
Yeah.
And that's down.
And it's down.
It's absurd. I mean, whatever. I mean, we don't know. They don't nerf for wild, and so, I mean, Dean said last week that they did see Warlock as the outlier, and that it was like borderline on too powerful, and that they might touch it. And
Hold on. I have a question.
Yes.
Why is the Demon Seed at the Captain the Mulligan not at 100%?
Was it?
99.9. Misclicks.
That's gotta be misclicks.
Kept
Maybe they're going easy on
99.9%.
Like 2 misclicks keeps it from being 100.
Wow.
Like, those people were really sad. Like, no! I clicked on it because I liked it.
Maybe they were doing their
really
own listener
drunk.
series. Maybe they were doing their own listener series, or everyone's playing Demon Seed, but everyone has to mulligan their Demon Seed.
Oh my gosh.
Who can
Ooh,
dig
that's
to
a
get
good
their Demon
idea.
Seed first?
I think
sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
I think it was Jordan on the People's Champ podcast. They were making decks this past week, and Vapod, I'm butchering your name. I'm really sorry. I can never pronounce it right. Where they were putting all 3 quests in one deck. Like,
Yeah.
like how to play all 3 quests, right? They just made a YouTube video about it. So that's... I saw Slizzle do it one time. You like spend channel points to make viewer decks, and I was like, play double quest mage. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, this was a bad idea. I'm never doing this again.
Didn't Mark Mix come out with a video of like all the hunter quests and all the hunter rewards in one game?
Oh my gosh, I need to watch that. Yeah, that
That wouldn't
great.
surprise me from him. He's awesome too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That's great.
Warlock win rate 84.7% on HS replay.
I'm noticing. I have since getting really serious into Hearthstone like last year. I'm starting to see a trend of like Warlock boy summers, right? Where it's just Warlock dominates the summer.
Warlock tends to do. There was a meme going around recently that was like, it's that one from The Simpsons where like, was it Barney sneaks into the bar and Moe throws him out and then he walks in through the back.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And it's like that, but it's Warlock, and it's always something new. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up because
It's like Darkest Hour and
I was just about
Snap and
it's in the
Yeah.
Discord. Let me see. It's so funny. But yeah, it's
So what you're saying is I should be playing Warlock.
well, only if you want to win.
climb, but lose your soul.
It's funny because I honestly have not been playing the deck at all. I've been playing the other things.
Sure. I'm being hyperbolic. If you're having fun with the deck, like that's all that matters.
That's so funny.
It's just, yeah, it wins a lot, so it definitely needs to be touched in some form or fashion in our format for sure.
Do you think?
Yeah, here Naga Sea Witch, and then it was Snip Snap, and then it was Darkest Hour, and then it was Wretched Tiller, and then it was Stealer of Souls, and now it's the Demon Seed.
Oh man, over and over and over.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
it's just
good luck
Warlock
for-
doing Warlock things. So
Yeah, good for everybody who loves Warlock. Nate, like your class has always been supported.
that's true.
Go Daniel, your class has always been supported.
Do
Hey,
you think it would make an impact if Flesh Giant cost? Oh, sorry, go on.
it could cost 10. It could cost 12. It probably wouldn't make a difference.
'Cause I was thinking like 12 would be like a good number for it.
12.
I mean, they put
12 would
Molten
be
Giant up 5.
Yeah. 12 would be interesting, like, because we all thought 10 would be still playable at 10, and like you don't even notice it at 9, and then it dies, and then you play Raised Dead, and then you play it for 0. It's like, okay, 12? They could do that, I think. I don't know. Anytime it's a
Flesh Giant was nerfed to 9 mana. Oh no. Anyways.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, how embarrassing is it for Clockwork Giant, like, being one of the only giants available in Standard, and then there's, like, Flesh Giant to compete with. And it's like, oh, like, why would you ever play the other?
Yeah. Oh, well. We'll see. Hey, if you're someone who enjoys playing Warlock, now is the time. You know, get your golden hero power, get your 1K wins. Like, this is a good time to do it.
Yeah, you have at
it's just not a
least
good-
until the 31st, so a few more days. So, and you know what? It'll probably still be good after that.
It probably will. The only caution that I will give is if you're playing it, probably don't accept friend requests, because that is not a new friend. That is a new foe.
It's a new enemy.
Yeah. Just be
don't.
happy that you either won or that they beat you, and don't get sucked into that toxicity of, at the end of the day, we like playing Hearthstone. If you're having fun with the deck, have fun with it while it's still there. We won't judge you too harshly, and we'll be here whenever the nerfs actually roll out, and maybe they actually normalize the meta a little bit. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I remember I didn't, in the beginning of me playing this game, I wasn't social in the game. I wasn't in any Discords. I didn't really talk to anyone. And I remember going on Hearthstone and finding the aggro mid-range shaman, the one with Tunnel Trog and Totem Golem. And I built the deck, and I played the deck, and probably poorly. And I got a friend request, and the words that they used
no.
are not safe for work or family or anything. And I'm like, I didn't understand what I had done wrong. Like, I really didn't. I was like, because before then I just made whatever deck I thought was neat. And then I net decked for the first time, and it was that deck. And people were very angry. This person, at least, was extremely angry, especially since it was probably like a top tier deck, and we were playing this at around like rank like 16 or 15 or something.
How dare you?
They're very angry.
Wow. Well,
Sorry.
It's happened
Yeah.
to me today. I was really spooked. Like, I was like, I faced a seed lock, very traditional. Died turn 4. Okay, whatever. And then he friends me, and I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. So I typed this like big wall of text. Okay, I think I know why you're here. You're gonna insult me. You're gonna say something really stupid, and I'm gonna feel really bad about accepting this invite. And like, I wait, and he goes, "No, dude, I just wanted to say hi."
well, hey,
It's
there
like-
you go.
These exist.
I know, right? So they're so
They
few and
do.
far between.
Yeah.
I usually will accept them because I'm like, all right, bring it on. I want to screenshot it. We have a channel for that in Discord. I got one last night. I was playing that Fell Demon Hunter, and like I did not accept it. I was in such a bad, like I had lost so many games. It's like 2:00 in the morning, and like I needed one win to get my 500. And then like I got the friend request, and I was like, I just can't deal with this right now. Decline. I have regrets now. Like I kind of wish I would have done it, but
It was Ben Brode being like, "Hey, I've heard your podcast before."
Hey, bro, I'm sorry about the demon seed meta.
You missed out. You'll never know.
you know what? Here's the funny thing. This is the funny part of it. The person's username was Nightwing, like from Batman, right? And I was like, oh, I already have someone named Nightwing on my friends list who plays Wild and is like wanting to start up streaming. And then right after that, and so I hit decline, and then I got a spectate from Nightwing, and I was like, what, huh?
That's spooky.
And then I got my 500 wins. I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'm like, I can't think about this. And it was just, it was such a like deja vu kind of feeling. It was like
Nightwing alternate account.
I don't know.
Maybe same
Standard
person.
account.
But there's so many things. Like, how many times have you run into like, Silent Storm or like,
Yeah.
Lucky Dwarf or Sleepy
Lucky
Dragon
Pants.
or
Shiny Pants.
one of the pants accounts. Yeah.
I got really spooked back in like 2019. I thought Kripparrian was facing me because like the name was Kripparrian, but like I guess I didn't catch. It was something up with it, but I was like, oh my god, is this Kripparrian? It's like I'm in like rank like 14 at the time in Wild, so I'm like, no way, he can't be this low. I posted to Reddit and I was like, no, it's not him. This is him. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Whenever I was still not socialized into the Hearthstone, social scene at all, I kept on seeing Silent Storm. So, at one point I, added Silent Storm as a friend. And then every time I would queue into a Silent Storm, I would message that one and be like, good luck.
Oh, that's so funny. And they're like, what?
They just never responded to like anything. I was like, oh, all right. And then what I know now, I removed them because we never actually exchanged any like words. It was just a random silent storm, emphasis on the silent there, right?
That's great.
But for two, I didn't want to confuse all the other silent storms on ladder as my friend.
I think we probably all have a Silent Storm on our friends list, and like Aramorn says, a night as well.
Yeah.
I see that
I
all the
totally-
time.
I Googled Silent Storm because I kept running into Silent Storm. I'm like, who's Silent Storm? Is this person famous? Like, why? Why do I see this person so often? And yeah.
Great.
Years later, you find out it's just an auto-generated name.
I'm sad.
XX Silent Storm XX.
Jeez.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next point that we have here in the news. And so this next one, as far as I can tell, dropped as a bit of a accident on purpose. Who knows? But it showed up on Reddit, and it's about mercenaries. So Hearthstone just put it out there. They have made an announcement. Mercenaries is coming. There is going to be a release showcase that's going to happen on August 31st. I believe that is a Tuesday at 9 a.m. And so
Pacific time.
yeah, Pacific, yeah. And so at that point, the showcase will feature gameplay. It's going to reveal a ton of its content, and it's going to announce the launch date of Mercenaries, and apparently a surprise or two.
You know what's
Wow.
I was just thinking about this though. August 31 is also the day of these Warlock nerfs. And so we'll probably get a patch push through where you can pre-order Mercenaries or pre-order some bundle skin, something from like Mercenaries is supposed to be free to play, right? But like there will be, I'm sure there's going to be a thing, and maybe there will be new stuff in the store. I was complaining the other day when they were offering those gold bundles and like I didn't get the big one, which is probably a good thing, honestly. But Nick said, he's like, oh, don't worry, there will be other things in the shop soon enough for you to spend money on. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm trying
Danger, Will Robinson.
So like Mercenaries will be free, but you can make it shiny for $20.
Dude, those Battleground skins are dropping all the time. There's 2 Bobs now. It's like there's Dragon Bob and there's regular Bob. And
Oh,
my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not. No one can convince me. I'm not doing it. I don't play enough Battlegrounds. Can't do it.
But
Maybe on August 30th. Sorry.
oh no, go for it.
I'm really bad at this. I'm sorry, but I was just gonna say it's like maybe they could put a bundle in the shop for blood pressure pills. Because like, how can you manage? How could you manage with like being so depressed about the Warlock nerfs and then like excited for battleground, like mercenary stuff. It's like how do they do this to us? They can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
Either that or, oh, here's 5 new warlock skins so that every time you face against a warlock, you'll face against a different skin instead.
Oh my goodness. Hey, there are Twitch drops, by the way. This is crazy. I'm used to these YouTube ones where it's like you watch for 1 hour and you get 1 pack, or watch for 2 hours and you get 1 pack. This thing says you watch 15 minutes and you get a pack. You watch 30 minutes, you get 2 packs. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. That's kind of in line with the Sea of Thieves Twitch drops. It's like 20 minutes if you watch a Sea of Thieves stream, then you get like an in-game thing. Just, I'm glad to see that kind of. I like that they're trying to get people to engage with the content. That's good. Love to see it. Sometimes you can't spend an hour or two.
What I'll do is, like, I'm logged in on my phone or my iPad and I'll put it up and I'll just leave it, like when I'm at work. Like, I'll have it on my like mini fridge in the back of the office and just leave it there and plug it in so that
You have a mini fridge in your office?
yeah.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
So do I.
It's like
We recently got one for my boss.
there you go. Work didn't pay for it. I had to supply it myself. But like, hey, that's the nice thing about being the boss. And
Work pays for the electricity to run your mini fridge.
that's right.
Sounds cool.
But yeah. Anyway, so they said there's surprises, whatever that means, and now like let the speculation begin. Who knows? But yeah, I think Shibo. I think that when they initially released the Year of the Griffin roadmap, Mercenaries was supposed to come out sooner, and then they mentioned somewhere along the lines that like they were still working on it, or it was taking longer than they thought, or something like that. I think. Is that right?
Call an announcement saying like, "Hey, look, it was." I think it was around. Oh, I don't know. I remember when expansions got delayed like last year, and everything was kind of like pushed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Look, it's just gonna be a while." So
I'd rather have them do it right. As long as, but this is cool. At least they're announcing it. I think they must have like learned their lesson when they released the teaser for the in-game tournament mode.
Oh.
And then people kept asking about it, and they're like, we're still working on it. People kept asking on it. They're still working on it. And people kept asking, and they're like, yeah, we're just going to drop it. It's too hard. It just doesn't
We're
work.
no longer working on it.
It was StarCraft Ghost all over again.
Yeah, and everybody got so upset and bent out of shape about it. So, like, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But honestly, I'd rather have them deliver a finished product than them say, like, here's this thing and it's not up to par. It is funny though how this stuff works. Like, Battlegrounds is still in beta, right?
Yeah, I know, right? But it's like 2 years almost.
and like the most highly engaged part of the entire platform.
Right.
So
I was
I'm
like-
completely with you. I'd much rather wait for it to be like ready and not have like a whole lot of speed bumps while we're just like waiting for it to like get ironed out and actually be playable. So if whenever it actually drops, it's like, hey, ready to rock and roll, I'm here for that.
It's like I've only thought about Mercenaries twice this year. Once was when I saw the roadmap, and then it just kind of like faded off. And then the next time was a week ago, and Goliath is like, "Hey, did you hear about like this?" And I was like, "Whoa, Mercenaries? Oh, that exists? That's coming out? When?"
That's cool. Well, and who knows? I mean, I think this is like the announcement, but they said we're gonna see some gameplay.
Yeah.
So Showcase will feature gameplay, reveal tons of content, and formally announce the Mercenaries launch date. So that's cool.
Yeah, so we'll know it all.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it actually is, because it's
Right.
been a whole lot of guesses and estimates and like, breadcrumbs, but now if we're actually seeing gameplay.
Mhm.
Yeah, right? Because like it's like, oh, it's just gonna be Slay the Spire, and then I saw some people going, it's nothing like Slay the Spire. It's like, okay, I have no idea what it is at all then. I guess we'll find out. But No, that's really exciting, and that's going to be happening on Tuesday at 9 a.m., right when I'm cleaning up my hotel to leave that day. Oh, guess I won't be watching.
Pobrecito.
Nobody tell me. Keep it in the spoilers channel in the Discord.
Yeah. Poor baby. Just
God.
it'll still be there. It'll still be there. All right. Well, let's talk about what we've been playing a little bit. Normally, we kind of like transition. There's not any other news that I'm missing out on, right? Dean's doing another AMA right now, but I haven't been watching, so I'm not sure if there's anything new. We can probably hit on that next week if there's anything exciting. But yeah, this is the part where normally we would talk about like the meta or what decks we've been playing or whatever. And so I've been bouncing around with Demon Hunter and having a lot of fun, particularly with like the Fel cards and Jace. Like I just love Jace. Jace is like, it's like N'Zoth, but for spells, right? But
Yogg.
only Fel spells. Like I love
The spells.
Like Yogg.
It's kind of like Yogg, except they replay the exact same spells. So it reminds me of N'Zoth, because N'Zoth brings back your same death rattles, and he replays the same spells. Yeah. Granted, it's like Yogg because the order is random. Ooh. And so I was going back and forth. Ridiculous Hat is insanely high in Standard Legend right now with this Glide Demon Hunter deck, and I tried playing that, and I was like, I just cannot figure this out. I can lose a lot with it, but I can't win, so let me try something different. Looking at the win rate percentages, like Death Rattle Demon Hunter is still the highest win rate percent. And I was like, well, I'm kind of bored with that. Like, it's fun, but I'm kind of like, that was Barons, and now we're in Stormwind, so I'd rather play something new. And so I tried this deck from No Hands Gamer that is... essentially it's like Fel Demon Hunter, where it runs all these spells. So Fel Scream Blast, Fury, Chaos Strike, Fel Barrage, and Chaos Leech, and Metamorphosis, that are all Fel spells. And it's got so much healing. What do you call them?
Spells.
And so like you're getting low, and then you heal, you're getting low, and then you heal, and then you play Jace, and all of a sudden you heal back to full health and you attack for 15. It's pretty great. I did learn something new today, that Fury is the ranked spell where you get plus different attacks based on how much mana you have when you play it. I was mistakenly under the impression that when you played Jace, Fury would replay at your current mana, and that is not how it works. Fury replays at what it was played at when you originally played it. And so I've been misplaying for the last week, essentially. We learned that one. I learned that from Sheep, so thank you. And we learned that, I think, from watching some replays, right? When
I learned that by playing against someone in Standard who was playing Jace Demon Hunter before the show.
Hey, there you go. There we go. But anyways, this has been a lot of fun. It's not easy to play, but it is a lot of fun to play. And I feel like I can at least mentally grasp how to play it, where the quest ones and the glide ones and all this cycle stuff and the OTK, it's just, I'm not there. I tried. I thought I was smart, but not that much, apparently. So anyways, this is what I've been playing, and it's been a lot of fun. So
I saw you posted this, and I was wondering, what is the No Hands? And then so thank you for clarifying that's the name of the person who made it. I was like, where is his name coming from? But
yeah, this is No Hands Gamer's list. And so it's been fun. It is not super easy, but it's definitely a lot of fun. If anyone wants to see how it can be piloted effectively, I have some of the replays in the Discord where they were like good games.
So is the optimal thing to do is then you play Fury. So you get the 10 mana crystals, and you Fury, then Jace?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because then he'd play it 2 more times, Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
That
don't wait
said-
for turn 8 to chase.
Right. It kind of depends, right? If you need to play a Fury before then, because like you need to deal with the board or whatnot, then you don't hold on to it for like ultimate value.
You
right?
can't. Yeah, you can't be greedy with this, otherwise you're gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
These days and ages, the 10th mana crystal doesn't even exist. So it's like, do you even wait that long?
what's
And this is a standard deck, so they can go a little bit longer.
A little
They
bit longer.
sometimes actually see the 10th mana crystal.
yeah? What's interesting is this runs the OTK package, and so you can win that way as like an alternate win con because it runs 2 Moargs and 2 talented Arcanists, and it runs Il'gynoth. But more often than not, like I mean, if you're playing some super slow deck, like you can hold on to that stuff and try to OTK with Il'gynoth. But like more often than not, it doesn't happen. A lot of times, what I would do is I'd combo, Arcanist or Moarg or one of those with one of the Fel healing spells and kill some. Like you could kill a flesh giant and heal for 8 to 10 health at the same time. Like that's pretty nice. I mean, of course they play Raise Dead and then they play another flesh giant for 0, but like at least you healed.
Yeah, on 10 you can even drop a Moarg and then Jace, and then all of your like eye beams and stuff like that are still doubled, and they're targeted to your opponent's stuff, and so you heal a lot and deal with their board and drop your own board. And sometimes you deal with your own board too. Who knows? It's Jace.
Many times you do. Jace is kind of cool. It reminds me of Solarian Prime because it says targets opponents if possible. So a lot of times it's pretty cool. I will say with Arcanist, it only says your next spell, so it won't do every single Jace spell, right?
Right.
But
yeah, that's why it's Moarg instead of the Arcanist if you're playing it with Jace.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, I've done that as well, and it's really fun. But yeah, you can't be greedy with it for the most part. Like a lot of times you'll have to play your Fel spells to like not die. But Jace is a pretty good finisher, and yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it actually. I mean, I'm riding at like a 52% win rate, but it's probably closer to 50% now. Because I was like forcing this into a meta that was playing like nothing but elemental shamans and quest warlocks. But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. And so if you're looking for a Demon Hunter deck, a standard one, the Demon Hunter's just not good enough in Wild right now. But this has been a lot of fun. So what about you guys? Looks like Sheep. You've got a fun deck here for THL.
Yeah, so I've been practicing a few different more off meta, off the wall decks in a prep for my THL match against Burnt this week. One of the ones that I brought is this Uther OTK Paladin that I appropriated from Raffle. So it's a little bit of an older list, and if I had more time, like I said, work's been a little wild this week, I would have probably made a few changes to kind of update it. No shade on Raffle's list, because it's great. It's just an old one from a meta or two ago.
Yeah.
But seeing what Burnt brought, this may actually like get a W.
Hey.
Shmoopy Daddy and I queued up against one another earlier this week, and Shmoopy did in fact pull out the W. I was desperately searching for, I can't remember which side of it that I was searching for, Wild Pyromancer or the Libram of Justice, one or the other. Like I had one in hand and didn't have the other.
Oh.
And I needed both to clear out his clowns, but I got clowned on.
Was not to be.
So I think Shmoopy and I are about 50-50 in games. He may have a slight edge. I may have a slight edge. It's close though. And after that one, I think Shmoopy may have the edge on our lifetime series on ladder.
That's great. I notice you do not have a golden beardo yet. Is that incoming or what?
Probably not, truthfully. Nothing against Auction Master Beardo. It's just very specific. Like, it's pretty much just Uther OTK decks that play him.
Yeah. I'm joking. Don't craft it. Please don't craft it. Not for me,
No.
anyways.
But it's a really fun deck. If you're trying to play it on ladder, you will lose a lot of rank, but you'll have a lot of fun. If you're trying to play it in a slower tournament format, then hey, you may actually be able to pick up a W or two. We'll see if I do or not tomorrow, because that's when Burnt and I play.
Nice. Yeah, the teams are stacked this season. I'm playing against White Delight this weekend, and it's like, oh no, don't like why.
Yeah, starting like last season, I think, is when the teams went from like, pretty consistent top to bottom to just, like you said,
We're
I'm
playing with no doubt like
Burnt,
top
you're playing
legend
White
players.
Delight. Yeah. We're gonna have fun. That's what matters.
We will have fun. Yes.
Yeah. We're not going in to try and be like the most hyper competitive OMG. We're going in to have a blast. Case in point, I brought an Uther OTK Paladin at the 2 seed. So
Hey, there you go.
we'll have fun with it and maybe win a game or two.
Hey, there you go.
Maybe win a match. Probably not. So that's mostly what I've been playing lately. Case in point, I ran into Schmoopy Daddy.
Nice.
How about you, Shibo? What have you been playing on the ladder, or in casual, or in solo this go around?
Yeah, before I get into that, though, I did want to ask this question about Nate's deck, the no hands one.
Yeah.
So with that, it runs Il'gynoth, and it's like, I do have a question about that though, because now that Il'gynoth costs 6, like, wouldn't you want to run the quests so that you could reduce the cost of that? Because it's like, because like I could imagine maybe there's like a turn where you could maybe get like, because when I was playing post Il'gynoth nerf, I was like, the quest is great in standard because like I would just glide my hand and just draw Moarg 0, Il'gynoth 4, and just draw my entire deck after that and just pummel them. But it's like, do you think that Il'gynoth is like maybe superfluous in this list?
It's been okay. Sometimes I'll drop it for tempo. Sometimes I'll drop it if I can get eke a win out of it. It doesn't feel nearly as good at 6. I played it last night against a shaman. Like, I just dropped it on the board, and then this opponent like ran 3 minions into it to kill it, and it was like, bro, you just did 12 damage to yourself. What are you doing? And then I won, and that was my 500th game. But like,
Nice.
Finally, I can get some sleep.
but no, I agree
Make
with
it
you.
memorable.
It costs too much. I haven't thought about putting the quest in here, but I agree. Like, if you can pull off the crazy swing turns, especially the OTK type of stuff, but only if everything's discounted. And it's not. The only cards that discount are Sigil of Alacrity and Skull of Gul'dan. And like half the time you're praying like that your skull draws something good. And a lot of times it's like, cool, I just got a Thalnos and a Fury and my Warblades. It's like, oh, that doesn't help, but thanks anyways. I'll try it. This feels like a pretty consistent list. The one card that I'm kind of like meh about is Metamorphosis, because it costs 5 mana, and a lot of times there's never like a great turn to play it. Like, you can use it as a finisher sometimes to go over the top, and then Jace replays it, and that's kind of cool. And like, I've won that way, but at the same time, it's a little clunky. Like, I'm anxious for them to revert the nerf.
Yeah.
7 mana, deal 8.
Metamorphosis. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I would be interested in trying it with the quest and some more cycle to see. I've tried comboing. I love trying to like mesh a bunch of different archetypes that don't go together in the same deck. Back in the day, I way back when in Blackrock Mountain, right? When Secret Paladin was like the deck, was like, well, Secret Paladin is cool, but like it's kind of boring. And I was like, I really like dragons, so like I'm gonna make Secret Dragon Paladin, and like it wasn't good. It was really fun, but it wasn't good. But like I enjoyed that, and so I experimented a little bit with like the Death Rattle package with this, adding the Fell spells and Jace on the top end, and like it's okay. There's a list on HS Replay. They call it like Fell Rattle or something. And like it's so, but it's not. It's like if you want to do the Death Rattle thing, like go all in on the Death Rattles and have your Inquisitors at the top end, and that's better. I kind of feel like if you want to go in the OTK thing, like it's more of a build around. This is kind of an interesting deck. And like the Glide deck goes kind of all in on the new weapon and the tradable cards and the cycle and these playing those 6-7 taunts for like 1 mana. And so this is kind of in the middle. Like I don't know that it's super competitive, but it's very fun. So I'm not sure. I bounced around all week playing with different Demon Hunter decks, and this is what I landed on as like the most fun. I just can't. The Glide version that everyone's doing really well with, like I just can't play it. I don't know.
Yeah, the Momentum Demon Hunter.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's really cool. I just am not good with it.
My boomer moment is still thinking that like you can do Thorazon and Drakari Enchantress to get your combos to work. And it's like, the game's not that slow anymore. Can't do that. So
It's a nice idea.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm thinking, what if? Okay, so like Demon Hunter quest, it goes off, and you Glide, and you Thorazon, and you Drakari Enchantress, then you Il'gynoth and Jace at the same turn. It's like, ooh, what if?
Yeah. If you can, it's crazy. It's really difficult to do because they got to be reduced enough. And so you'd have to hit both from Skull, right? And even then, is that too much? Probably.
Oh, I figured out how you can do it. You queue into an Odd Warrior bot.
So play on Asia because they're everywhere.
But yeah, I've been playing because I was trying a whole just like arrangement of decks to try to get the legend before playing AI inspired Dark Lair. So like I was like, what do I do? Because nothing's working. So I was like, okay, let's try Tax Paladin. I'd never played Tax Paladin before, and it was not very fun. It kept running out of resources.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like everyone, like I never fought the Demon Seed decks with Tax Paladin. I was just fighting counters to Demon Seed, so they knew how to get around Tax Paladin. I'm like, this is boring. I'm not going to play this again. Then I switched over to get Meowth's Tax Demon Hunter with the quest and Glide. It's fun, but it never beats Demon Seed, and this is before the nerfs. So like I was very sad because I was like, how did get Meowth get like really high legend with his deck, and like I can't beat one Demon Hunter with it
because he's really good.
One Demon Seed with it.
Yeah,
that's the answer.
He's good.
It's like I can't replicate this. It's kind of like we were saying with like the Glide combos. It's like how do you get this? So after Demon.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So you went in and dropped in the Demon Seed and hit autocomplete and let it make your deck.
Yes, I did.
I want to.
I was.
No, go for it. I'll add something on.
I was gonna say I was very scared to see how well it worked, and it was running Curse of Rapham, and I was like, what the heck? I'm like this. It actually got me a kill or two.
Well, when people were playing a bunch of Mozaki Mage, it'll kill you through the ice block. But I don't know how good Mozaki is now that they nerfed Flow and Spring Water. Like, I don't know. I want to try this. I've got a couple spots available, so let me see if it builds the same deck for me that it made for you.
Are you gonna do an AI complete?
Yeah. So okay, so here we go. We do the quest line.
I wonder if you even need to put the quest line in, or if you can just autocomplete.
All you do is put quest line and then do the complete.
Well, I want to
Okay.
I want to try it with Shibo's method and see,
You're
and then
seeding it with the demon seed.
and then I'll do it again without and see. It'd probably make the same deck. All right, so here we go.
Moment of truth.
What does it spit out?
Okay, should be on the screen, but it's 2 raised deads, 2 broomsticks, 2 crystallizers, 1 flame imp, 2 kobold librarians, 1 rain of fire, 2 spirit
Maybe-
bombs, the demon seed solarium, 2 touch of the Nathrazim, 2 tour guides, 1 defile, 2 backfires, 2 dark layers, 1 happy ghoul, Lotheb, 1 battleground battlemaster, 2 flesh giants, 2 molten giants.
No
No curse
golden
of the
happy
dawn.
ghoul?
I just
I'm disappointed, son.
ouch. I'm surprised the AI still thinks that Lotheb is like something. If you need this format, it's like, oh, that's cute.
You just make it golden because I said that. That's so funny. There we go.
There you go.
There, golden happy.
Are you
ghoul.
happy now?
Yeah, I am. Hey, I made golden happy ghouls like a very long time ago, and I was not disappointed.
Yeah, okay. So
Peer
this
pressure.
this is autocomplete plus the quest, right?
Yep,
Yep.
it's the seeded autocomplete.
Seated. That's great. Okay, and then here is Are you sure you want to make a wild deck? Yes, please. Thank you. All right, so let me just
You can only use it in wild games.
They really try to spook you out of playing wild.
Oh,
So weird.
snap. This is the Cataclysm version that it made. It's the discard.
Oh,
It
What
has
demon seed in there already?
Oh, it did. It did.
Oh wow.
Oh,
It
yeah,
very
this is the
much
Mill
did.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Millock.
AI knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Rip. Well, we know what's good. If anyone saw the Tempo Storm meta snapshot, Tier S has two.
yeah.
What is it? 2 Warlock decks, and then
Tier 1 has 1 Warlock deck, and then it's Tier 2.
I think that is accurate. Yeah. Yeah. I'll
yeah.
pull it up, but it's pretty gnarly. So
As they called it, drastic times.
And Ridgemont High? I know.
Oh boy, you're the best.
So's your face.
Thank you. I mean, have you ever really looked at a Hydralisk's face?
I've looked at yours. So yes.
That's great. What are you pulling up, Nate?
this is the Tempo Storm meta snapshot with here's the current meta snapshot here. Tier S, Questline Darkglare Warlock, and Questline Combo Warlock, and then Tier 1 is Darkglare Zoo Warlock, and then everything else is Tier 2. Pirate Warrior, Questline Pirate Warrior, Mozaki Mage, Aggro Paladin, and Aggro Priest. And this came out August 15th. So this is before Mozaki got nerfed.
Thank Canner Slow Nerf.
So I imagine Mozaki Mage bumps down a couple of pegs. I don't know. But yeah, this is old. This is the newest one, so I imagine we'll get another one soon.
Yeah.
But anyhow. So, but yeah, no, Warlock is still good. Clearly very good. So, anyways, well, Hydra, what have you been playing? I know you did some. So here's Hydra is like, hey, anybody? Well, I think it was me. Hey, anybody want to do some co-op? Hydra's like, oh yeah, I'll do some co-op, and I was like, cool. And then I went and played my like old 90s adventure games, and then all of a sudden like 6 hours had gone by, and I was like, oh yeah, co-op. Oops. but you did some, right? You got to play some co-op. I think you were playing some the Quest Hunter, is that right?
Yeah, so what happened was this month I had not really, other than doing my challenge, my daily quests, I hadn't really touched Asia and EU at all. And so I've cracked the quest on Asia for the Hunter quest line. And I was like, all right, I need to start playing. And so I was playing the deck to some pretty decent success, like a 65% win rate, like pretty good.
Nice. Yeah.
And I decided that maybe we should see what other people think, because it didn't feel like I was actually winning that much, because when I lost, like I was bricking, right? Like it was horrible draw, really bad, concede the game. Like it wasn't really going so well. So I reached out to Blue Train, and he's like, "Oh, come over into Burnt's Discord. We'll do some co-op." So I hopped over there, and I brought this free-to-play deck that's the Quest Hunter. And Sheep was saying, "Don't craft Auction Master Beardo." I mean,
In gold.
in gold. So
But-
I didn't have when the stream when the co-op started, I didn't have Auction Master Beardo. I had something else in place. I don't remember what was there, but because it sort of confused me as to why the card was in the deck at first, right? Because it basically does the exact same thing as what your quest reward does, right? Like it has the same effect. And so it seemed a little redundant. And so it was explained to me that, hey, you don't always get your quest off when you want to get your quest off. You can drop Beardo and you can go off early, right? And it just sort of fills in that gap. And so we were playing some games. It was going great. I'm like, man, kind of sounds like a fun craft. And remember, this is a free-to-play account too, right? And so...
Oh, wow.
There's a few people. So there was Rotted Zombie was there, 6J was there. There was a few people. NHL fan was there, and Blue Train, and Blue Train's like, "Don't do it, man. It's your free to play account. Don't craft it." I'm like, eh.
The good old reverse psychology peer pressure.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Don't do it." I'm like, well, I do already have Uther, so if I craft Beardo for Quest Hunter, I technically have it for OTK Paladin if I really want to.
Oh my
Sure.
goodness. Hey, that's yeah.
So yeah, probably not the smartest craft. I don't recommend anybody craft Beardo if they're on a budget or whatever. But I did it for fun, for science.
Oh, science!
And I had a lot of fun, to be honest. And I'm gonna say, even though I had a decent win rate with this deck, once I started playing in a group, I looked at the deck a little bit differently, especially from NHL fan. He sort of put things into perspective a bit, so this is the odd version of the deck, right? So a lot of times I was prioritizing completing my quest, and where I'm like, all right, I'm going to play this card just to get the damage in. And NHL's like, no. Don't do that. Just hero power. Don't forget you're dealing 3 damage with your hero power. Do that. Don't worry about your quest. All your spells cost 1. We will complete it. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, but I want to do it now. And he's like,
The voice of
no.
reason.
He's like, don't, save your spells. It's fine. And I'm like all like disgruntled, like, no, I want to complete my quest.
I
Fine.
want it now.
I'll listen to you. You're smart. And it turns out he's right. So NHL fan, you're a good player and you know what you're talking about. So I listened to you. And yeah, it went well. And so we just climbed basically through the ladder up into Diamond playing, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun. Co-op is the best.
Yeah.
It's so
It
much.
really is.
It's so much more fun to play that way. 100% agree.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with it. This version of the deck is almost exactly what you'll run into on the ladder, other than I don't have Barack Obama Cotobane.
Oh, is that what Scorpid is there for? Or
That's
what?
why Scorpid's there,
Okay.
yeah. So, like, I wouldn't have Scorpid there in general. Normally, that would be Cotobane.
Mhm.
And then I only had 1 toxic reinforcements And so that's why there's just a random mystery winner sitting there. Just for random, it's a 1/1 with random spell generation.
Yeah.
Just I have a limited collection, so I'm like, okay, what's something cheap I can put in the deck?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And some of the spells will do damage if you get explosive trap or you get snipe or one of those.
Yeah, so that's what the mystery winner there is for instead. So those were my substitutions. And Scorpid itself, it's still like it's a decent card. It's a little, expensive in a fast-paced deck or whatever, but it you get to discover a spell, and that kind of can get you there as well. I don't have that draw engine of the Kodobane in this version, but free-to-play account, and this deck still performed at, I believe, a 67% win rate. So
wow, that's pretty incredible.
Whoa, that's great.
Yeah, so can't really complain. And yeah, like I said, free to play. And I had a lot of fun. And I think I'm going to continue to play it. I know Warlock is sort of the name of the game right now, but I'm really having a lot of fun with Hunter. And hey, guys, if you want to get Hunter wins, you can get them right now. Because in Wild, it's not been so easy, right? Like, we've had a hard time being able to get Hunter wins in Wild. So
Yeah.
if you want to get them, you can get them now with this deck.
That's
so,
fun,
but
man.
yeah,
I like it.
put Kodobane in there instead of Scorpid. But Scorpid works just fine. And then, yeah, 2 toxic reinforcements, obviously, would be a lot better. But Mystery Winner works just fine.
It's good to have budget options as well. Yeah.
I like the comment where like you had learned of like was it a NHL fan who was telling you it's like hero power, don't worry about your spells, we'll complete your quest later, just hero power. It's that kind of advice that's like it's really cool to like take that with you. And that's where it's like it reminded me of like when I learned from this show. Nate was talking about how to deal with the secret mage players with like rigged fair game. It's like just hit face, just go face. Getting the 1 damage in is better than them drawing the 3 cards, and then like you'll pick a time where it's more comfortable for them to draw out the 3 cards rather than immediately. So it's like I think that's really cool that you were able to take that nugget of like play tips, and then like it's going to stick with you, and it's going to stick with me too. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I love those little learning experiences that you get. And like you said, they stay with you. So every time I play that deck now, I think of that instead of, just throwing my cards out there and suddenly I'm top decking. Right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, good advice. That's what I've been up to this week, and I think I'm going to continue to play this deck for sure.
I like it. And before we switch over to sort of wrapping up the show, I do want to say, hey, if anyone watching or listening is interested in co-oping, like reach out on the Discord, and whether it's one of us or someone else, like there are a lot of people who are interested in playing games together, and it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend.
We have a dedicated co-op request channel on the Discord, so pop in there and you'll be able to find a practice partner there before too long.
Yes, 100%.
So just to clarify then, when you co-opt, is it that someone's spectating you while you're on ladder, or are they taking like meta competitive decks facing you in a friendly game and then like teaching you how to like work around them?
More the former. There's like a co-op, actually 2 of them, voice channels as well. So even if y'all aren't friends in the Hearthstone client or Battle.net in general, you can also share your screen and kind of stream to that co-op group without streaming to Twitch if you're not comfortable doing that thing as well. So it's a much more kind of curated and kind of teaching environment as well. And, even if it's not teaching, it's just hanging out with friends, there's that possibility as well without having to worry about necessarily kind of adding people in game. Though obviously if you want friends in game, I'm sure that, the people in the community would be happy to be your friend there as well officially. Make it Battle.net, BN official instead of FB official, right?
Yeah.
And it's just as easy as just typing in the chat, "Hey, I want to do a co-op," and it's like no reservations, no anything. Okay.
No,
yeah.
yeah.
I was kind of spooked by that. I was like, "Uh-oh, do I need to like be friends, like close friends with them? Do I need to do X, Y, and Z?" So if it's that easy, cool. I might take you up on that.
Yeah, it's super
really
casual.
is. people like Ben from work or Blue Train or like whoever, any one of us will be like, yeah, I'm down. I'll be there and I'm off work in an hour. Like it happens, and it happens quite often. It's really fun.
It's a good way to like learn decks and stuff that you're not that familiar with, or sometimes it's just fun to hang out, whatever.
Yeah, even if you're not the one piloting and you're just kind of like hanging out with someone else who's piloting it, even if they know the deck really well, that's kind of one way. Asking them in real time questions and, like, oh, why did you do that? Or like, oh, walk me through your play here can be really beneficial too, without the kind of like, text barrier that's in like a Twitch chat or whatnot as well. It's a really fun way of engaging with the game for sure.
We did one last week with Ben, and Pink was piloting, and Pink was playing Questline Shaman. And
that was so much fun.
It was so much fun, and I didn't know, like, I had reached out, hey, is anyone interested in doing some co-op? And Pink said, oh yeah, I am. And I said, oh, that's great. What time zone are you in, or when do you want to do this? And they said, hey, I'm in Australia, and it's like the morning time, like for me tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Well, it's evening for me, and this works out. And Sheep jumped on and Ben jumped on, and I said, hey, look, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm happy to hang out and like, hey, I can learn maybe how to play this. And it was an absolute blast. And they're really good at the deck, like better than I was. And I'm like, hey, what about this? What about this? And there were some heads up plays that I didn't see coming, and it was just a lot of fun. I mean, just to kind of hang out, watch and learn and stuff. And so, yeah, I recommend it. And it's all super casual. I mean, there's no rules to it. Like, all we ask is be respectful to each other, and that's it. I mean, right? Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. And of course, the general, like, respect the other people, no like racism, misogyny, that kind of stuff. But outside of like the normal social norms, we're good.
Yeah, 100%. So anyways, yeah, if anyone's interested, by all means, like, yeah, check it out. We're running a little bit late, and we're about to start our match, our listener series match soon. But before we wrap up the show, wanted to hit this week's weekly challenge and look at last week's challenge as well. So so last weekend on the show we had Schmoopy Mommy on, which was really fun, and Schmoopy Daddy helped to create the weekly challenge, which was kind of the spirit of the new player. And so the challenge was to make the best core deck to climb the apprentice ranks. Bonus points if you can build something that someone can use from game one, meaning no unlocked cards. It's a judgment call, but he volunteered to test all of the decks on the Wild Ladder, which in hindsight was kind of funny because they're all standard decks. But
irony.
Yes. And so we did receive some submissions, and big shout out and thank you to Schmoopy Daddy, who did test all of these decks on the Wild Ladder. And the winner that he has selected is, drum roll please. Oops, that is the wrong thing. Oh, what? I didn't import it. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Keep drumming. There it is.
Longest drum roll.
All right, Ben from work.
Yay!
Hey.
All the symbols.
Yay. So Ben created it's almost kind of like a Miracle Rogue style with Gadgetan Auctioneer and a bunch of 0 mana and 1 mana spells, very aggressively statted, with Alex Straza, the Lifebinder, at the top. And wow, this is some old school vibes with Violet Teacher as well. So congrats, Ben. I think this is, we haven't seen Ben compete in a while, so I'm excited. So GG's, Ben. I'll reach out and we'll gift you a couple of packs and bragging rights, of course. Thanks again, Schmoopy, for the challenge and for scoring the decks and for testing them at the cost of your own rank. Appreciate that very much. So, all right, well, let's get into this week's challenge then. And Shibo helped us come up with this one. And so one of the best looking cards in all of Hearthstone, Rotface, is making an appearance tonight. And so yeah, Shibo, can you fill us in a little bit? What is the challenge for people?
Oh, I was thinking because you brought this up in like the afternoon. I was like, I gotta think of something. So, I remembered building a big warrior deck, and I was on stream, and Okajak was there, and I was like, let's put it in Rot Face. He's like, no, Rot Face is terrible. Don't do it. And Okajak was right. It's like it's like this should have been Bulwark of Azeroth. I regret putting Rot Face, but I like Rot Face. Rot Face is a great ability. It looks like a developer was like really angry that they had to make Rot Face, which is why the stats are so horrendous. But with that, like, I do like the aesthetic of like Naxxramas and Scholomance. It's like Flush Giant and Rot Face. I love those cards. The aesthetic is really cool for them. So like Rot Face, I was like, okay, so what can we do with this? So I was like, I did like a deck where I made a deck where it was like the Risky Skipper shell for Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
So commanding Shout and then provoke on Rot Face, and just get every minion to attack it, spawn some legendaries. So the challenge then was like build what did we formally like say for this then? It was that you had make the biggest board of legendaries with Rot Face, and this makes it easier now that we have the card provoke. So maybe you could do like a hand buff. Maybe you could do like a hand buff list where you can give old Rot Face the stats it deserves. Maybe you could do provoke, Risky Skipper, and just one by one. Maybe you could find a way to like Wave of Apathy the enemy minions, then provoke. Who knows?
Interesting.
That sounds like fun. All right. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And so typically we have a kind of tiebreaker as to, say someone makes Rot Face, gets it hit 6 times to summon 6 minions. There'd have to be some sort of buffing involved there, obviously, in order to take 6. What kind of a tiebreaker may be here? One of the ways that we typically do tiebreakers is the stats. This would be completely RNG based if that's the way we go. Stats of the legendary minions that Rot Face poops out. One possibility.
Because would you feel it's more appropriate then to like do stats then, or like win that game with the big board?
It's up to you. Winning is good.
It's your challenge.
All right. How about we'll just how about just like biggest stats? That way it's like I don't see you winning with the Rot Face and the board of legendaries. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. But I feel like maybe it would be easier just build the biggest board of stats with Rot Face with the legendary minions, not counting Rot Face's stats, the legendary minions.
Love it. Yeah, they've got to come out of Rot Face. You can't like sneak in a bunch of like, don't put.
You can't throw a Deathwing down or something like that. Yeah.
We're all making Stinkies today.
That's the name of the challenge this week.
I'll make it Stinkies.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I love it. All right, so in order to participate, typically we require that you play these games either in casual mode or on the ladder. We don't want anyone to necessarily tank their rank doing this. However, you cannot do it against a friend. You cannot do it against the innkeeper or any other PvE content. It's just too easy. Makes it not fair. So take screenshots or give us links to your replays, either through HS Replay or Firestone. Post them in our Discord channel. There is a channel in the Discord called Weekly Challenges, and is that what it's called? Weekly Challenge? Yep. I think that's right. It's been a long day. Yeah. Anyways, post it there. Oh, look, we both posted the Discord channel too, and I didn't do mine because I spelled it wrong. So post your screenshots or your replays in our Discord channel under the weekly challenges. We will review those, and In the event of a tie, we'll look at the stats, and then we'll select a winner on next week's show. And the winner of the challenge will receive 2 packs on us, and 2 packs of your choice, and more importantly, bragging rights. If you are trying to find the Discord, the easiest way to find it is going to our website, which is borntobewildhs.com. If you click the Find Us button, there is a link to the Discord. So, anyways, yeah, very, very exciting there. That's a fun challenge. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of shenanigans we can come up with. I might participate in this one. Not that I can win, but this one will be a lot of fun. And so, yes, bring on the Stinkies. Oh, dear.
By the way, Rotface because having Knights of the Frozen Throne being very fresh on the mind when I first started Hearthstone, I was flabbergasted that they made something like Rotface starting in the game. I was like, wait, is it just like, because my first interaction with Rotface, the opponent like pooped out a Deathwing. I was like, oh my god, this card! This card's so good.
When I played it, it drops out like patches and Chameleos and stuff.
Oh. Maybe you can get another Rotface.
Hey, ooh.
Oh.
Rotface squared.
What are the odds?
1 in
And I-
586.
I can't believe I had to actually Google that. I couldn't believe it was all the way back from Frozen Throne.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Wow.
Good times, good times. All right, well, we are getting towards the end of our show. Before we end, I do want to say a big, giant thank you to the patrons of our show. For first and foremost, to Shokunin, who is the executive producer of our show. Thank you very much for your support, and also a big thank you to our patrons who help keep the wheels running behind the scenes. So big thank you to Disruptor 108, Claudette G, Daniel B, Wildcard, Aramorn, Ben from Work, Turtle Boy, and Number Theory. Thank you all very much. Very much appreciate your help and your support. If anybody who is watching or listening is interested in supporting us financially, you can do that via our website, borntobewildhs.com. If you click on the Find Us page, there's a link to our Patreon. There's plans like as low as $1 a month. That being said, any support that you want to give is a great help to us, but please do not feel obligated at all. We're happy just to have you listening and having fun interacting with us. Finally, if you're somebody who is on Twitch a lot and you're interested, we do have emotes that you can unlock of our cute dragon mascot Nas here that you can unlock by subbing to us on Twitch. So if you got that sweet Amazon Twitch Prime, can unlock some funny emotes or something like that. But anyways,
Smash that subscribe button.
Oh man. Hey Shibo, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's been an absolute blast. Really appreciate you donating your time and hanging out and having fun with us. Hey, where can people find you if they want to interact with you or watch your content? And by the way, I would say one more time, I highly recommend checking out Shibo's YouTube because the videos are absolutely glorious and I'm a big fan.
And thank you for that. This is actually like the first time I've ever been invited onto a show like this or a podcast or anything like that. So, so thanks for giving me the opportunity to kind of like.
Oh, that's
show
awesome.
myself,
That's great.
talk about that stuff too. So I have a Twitter where you can catch all my video updates there, or just like dumb things I find in game. I have a Twitter is Shibo Plays X. I couldn't take Shibo because there are so many Shibos in the internet. So it's so weird, but didn't think about that after I made the name. But I have a YouTube, which is my primary platform. YouTube, just type in Shibo. Watch out though. Type in Shibo Hearthstone, because if you type in Shibo, you're gonna get Sue Shibo, who was a Hearthstone player back in 2017. So you're gonna
gotcha.
you're gonna get Sue Shibo's videos, and I'm like, man. Again, I have a Discord, to where I plug the link to my Discord in my videos. So you're more than welcome to go ahead and take a look at that if you find your way through there. And I have a Twitch. I stream every Wednesday at 8:15 p.m. EST and every Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time as well. So tomorrow I might actually do the Rat Face challenge like on stream.
Oh, nice. Yes.
How far
That'd
this
be
goes.
and I get to see firsthand. I've made a mistake.
That would be awesome. I'm down to
Oopsie.
check that out. That sounds cool.
100%. Yes.
Well, thank you.
Very,
Oh,
very,
thanks.
very cool.
Whipping on the screen. As you can see, that's the Stormwind flavor for Shibo, and he'll change whenever sets come out.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Actually, I think that you were the inspiration for us doing, like, we kind of copied you, where
Oh, really?
Our little dragon now we had commissioned in some Stormwind garb as well, and like loving the idea.
Truths.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw this sort of 1,000 Truths.
love the
Yeah.
idea of the outfit kind of changing with the as you know, as the expansion swap. And I know Sheep that Rue does some amazing artwork for you as well. Same kind of idea, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, big fan.
Very cool, very cool. All right, hey,
That's very cool.
Sheep, where can people find you?
Yeah, I can be found around the internet at Electric Sheep City at places that fits, like Twitch, and at eSheep City at places where that doesn't fit, like Twitter. So it can be found those places. And thank you very much, Shibo, for hanging out and joining us tonight. It's been a lot of fun, just catching up with you, getting to know you better, and seeing the person behind the Shiba. It's awesome.
Super
So thank
cool.
you very much for joining us. Hydra, where on the internet can you be found?
You can all find me at Hydralisk_HS on Twitter and Twitch. And you can also always find me in our Discord, which I feel is a really great community that we've built over time. And it's growing more and more. And we have all the different channels for all the different decks. We have got the co-op going on. We just have something for everybody. So if you're listening and you've never really joined a community like Discord or Twitter or whatever, it's a great place to be. So I highly recommend you come check it out. And yeah, so that's where you can find me. And also, I just want to say thank you, Shibo. It's been really great. Like, it's really funny how, you know, you can see someone on the internet via their content and just on Twitter. And it's been a real pleasure getting to actually talk to you and get to know you a little more. And you've been an excellent guest. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Now I'm
Nate.
wondering what would have happened if I just had the blue dog stand-in the whole time. Mystery.
I don't know.
Hey, I mean, that'd be fun.
Nate, where can we find you, Nate?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. If you want to interact with me, I'm very active on Twitter. You can find me at NateWolfTCG. It's NateWolfeTCG. More importantly, you can find the show and everything related on our website at borntobewildhs.com. And if you visit the website, we've got archives of all of our past podcasts. We've got all of our videos up there. We've got links to a bunch of the stuff that's on YouTube. So lore episodes, if you're interested in learning the stories behind the Hearthstone cards, we've done some really fun kind of co-ops with Goliath the Dwarf, who has been an absolute legend hanging out with and telling stories, and that's been fun. And we've got some parody songs up there as well, which are it's just a lot of fun. And again, if you click on that Find Us page, there's links to the stuff where you can find the podcast, where you can find the YouTube, you can find the Discord and everything else. So yeah, absolutely. And also, hey, big thank you to everyone who is watching this live. Big thank you to the people who watch our content on YouTube. And thank you, whoever you are watching this right now, or listening to it. We really appreciate you. One final thing before we wrap up the show for the night that we've been doing is big shout outs to people in the Wild Hearthstone community. And so I'm going to go first, and I want to say a big shout out to that guy Floop, who co-opted with me last night during my final climb to 500 games with Demon, or 500 ranked wins with Demon Hunter. And I got to spectate him. Actually, I was kind of playing casually on my screen, watching him play this really, really fun Hunter deck in Wild that was running the Wolpertingers, buffing a bunch of Wolpertingers, shuffling a bunch of Wolpertingers into your deck, and then playing the Rat King, and it was just so much fun. We had a good time, and it's like Hydra was saying earlier, it's much more fun than doing it alone. And so even though it wasn't, I'm sitting here kind of grinding games, it was really fun to just hang out with a friend and watch someone play and just interact. And so big shout out to that guy Floop. Thank you for hanging out, and hope you have a great week. Hydra, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to this week?
Yeah, mine is also co-op related. I spoke earlier about how I had a lot of fun and I learned some things, and there was a bunch of people there and it was great. And so my main shout out of everybody there would be to NHL Fan, because like I said earlier, I learned something and that's something that I'm going to take with me. And so, yeah, shout out to NHL Fan, great player. And yeah, thanks, dude.
Nice.
Sheep, how about you?
Yeah, so I'd like to give a shout out to Jordan for having us on his cute card tier list review.
Yeah, that was so fun. That was so fun.
It was so great.
Much fun. And I'm especially glad that Nate then got to further see one of the cute cards that we rated in that one in the Wolpertinger later that same night. So that's kind of a cool little bookend to Nate's night before he even got to the Golden Demon Hunter. So special shout out to Jordan for having us on, for facilitating that, for kind of running that show. That was a blast, and thanks so much for putting that on and for having us there. That was so much fun.
Absolutely.
It was a barrel of laughs. It really was.
That is an inside joke right there. I love it. I love it. Oh my god.
So thank you very much, Jordan, and shout out to you. Shibo, is there anyone who you would like to shout out?
I was hoping, because I didn't know if I was like locked into one. But
you can say whatever you want to say.
Pulls out the friends list. Okay, so so the guy who friended me today after he was playing Demons. Okay, so,
Silent Storm.
Yeah, the first thing is that so Goliath the dwarf, of course, but everyone kind of knows him around here. But I just can't. He's great, and I didn't imagine that I could find a rando online as cool as him. And I never imagined, like 6 months ago or something like that, like this guy who's speaking like a weird Scottish dwarf and now he's invited to my wedding. So it's like, all right.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's great.
Like, Goliath the rando. I like it.
I always feel weird about making friends with people on the internet because like I never even met them in real life. It's like Goliath is definitely an exception to that for sure. And then it's a me shovel. He has a Twitch. It's a me shovel, but he has been really active in my Discord. He's really great at pepping me up for Hearthstone games and stuff, and for streams. And he's great at what he does. I would definitely recommend him. He's getting into Wild more now, so that's really great for him too. And I would recommend him because he's a really cool guy to talk to on stream too. And then Namioki, who is the artist of my channel. She draws the Shibos. She makes the Shibo drawings for the thumbnails too, and all that. So definitely recommend her. She has an Instagram. It's Namioki. You can find her art there. But I would definitely, not just because she's my fiance, but because she makes great art and she's great at what she does.
She truly is 100%. Can confirm. Very, very good. Well, hey, wiser words were never spoken, and you heard that on Born to Be Wild.
Hold on to your mug. We're in for a wild night.
Wild. Feel the power of the wild world.
That was wild.